Welcome to another episode of Around the 412. I am Tyler, and with me as always are Smitty and Herb, and we are part of the Pod Hub Network. I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah, so last week, we can get into it a little bit more when we do the mock draft. Obviously, our mock draft
Didn't
kind
pan
of
out.
way off.
Yeah.
As a lot of people's were with receivers just not getting taken, in
Yeah.
the first round.
And Daniel
Not really the
Jones.
second round. Daniel Jones, which we're going to talk about a lot, actually.
The Raiders picks.
The Redskins being able to just stay in the exact same spot and get Dwayne Haskins at 15.
Yeah.
But like I said, a lot to talk about. Here to talk about it with us. He's been a listener for a long time. He's a writer for Steelers Now.
I think he's our most hated listener, too.
He's apparently our most hated listener. Donnie Druin. What's going on, Donnie?
How's it going, man? Thanks for throwing out the most hated listener. I've been getting a lot of hate lately, so that's very fitting.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a loving hate.
Yeah, I figured. It's like, whenever you don't get as nice as like a Christmas gift compared to like your sibling, it's like, oh, we love you, just not a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously there's a reason we wanted to talk to you this week. That reason being that the NFL draft is wrapping up today. Obviously, we're in the sixth round still right now, so some picks still to be made. A couple for the Steelers, so obviously we
Two,
can talk
right?
about all of them right now.
2 or 1, I can't remember. I don't know if I got Lena.
where we-
Three.
I say they
So
have three
the
six.
Steelers are actually on the clock right now.
Oh,
Word.
They have
It's
one
going
more
on
pick
behind me,
from
so
the
it's like-
Cardinals in the 6th round, and then they have a 7th round pick from the Buccaneers.
Right.
Oh.
So, let's just start right there. Let's start with the Steelers because we're sitting there on draft day, and everyone knows Devin Bush isn't going to be there at 20. There's not any way that's
there's
happening.
a slim chance.
It would the only way that would have happened, in my opinion, is and even the Packers could have taken him at 12. But I said
Yeah.
if he somehow gets past 11, okay, maybe he gets to 20. I don't know, but the Steelers, I felt, needed to trade into the top 10. Once they didn't trade with the Lions at 8 or the Bills at number 9, I thought that was it. We're not getting Devin Bush. I'm starting to think about what corner are we going to take to number 20. And
Little
all of a
did we
sudden,
know.
I see that the Broncos traded the 10th pick. And I'm like, there's no way. And then the screen changes to
Gold.
black and yellow, and that was it. Everyone knew it was Devin Bush. The guys on the draft tried to make it seem like, oh, they're moving up to get some, but everybody knew who they're trading up for.
Yeah.
They were not hiding it well. But starting there, and the thing is, I see a lot of people, talking about what the Broncos got back. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that was a hefty price to pay at all.
Not at all, no.
You look at now, it was 14 picks that the Saints moved up last year with the Packers, but they gave up this year's first round pick to do that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I was like, okay, if they give up next year's first rounder, that's
That's big.
a hefty
Yeah.
price to pay. But with Roethlisberger on his last contract, they're in win now mode. If Devin Bush is your guy, Devin Bush is your guy. And so I think to just swap first rounders, give up the second this year, you give up a third next year, but you're also getting a third back from Le'Veon leaving in free agency. I'll take that deal every day of the week. I don't know about you guys.
Absolutely.
I mean, essentially, you just gave up one pick in this year's draft,
Yeah.
which is really good.
Yeah, the 52nd overall selection.
Yeah.
So, Donnie, where are you at with the Steelers' first round selection?
I really liked it. I kind of like you. I didn't think they were going to be able to trade up in the draft, mostly because Kevin Colbert addressed a lot of the quote-unquote needs in free agency. He went and got a linebacker, Mark Barron. He went and got a cornerback in Steven Nelson. So I think, at least going into the draft, that put him in a position where he didn't absolutely need to trade up into top 10. But, he definitely could have if he wanted to throw out the entire farm. But I was shocked. I was completely shocked that he was able to pull off a trade like that. And let's look at it this way. The Broncos didn't get fleeced. I mean, they moved back. They essentially got the tight end they wanted because I think they were eyeing Hawkinson at number 8. Whenever he was off the board, I think they were more than content with dropping back 10 spots and still getting a really good tight end in Noah Fant. They got a second-round pick, in this year's draft, and then a third-round pick in next year's draft. So it's not like they got completely feasted either, but I think the price tag from moving up and getting a potentially game-changing linebacker, especially after the loss of Ryan Shazier, that's a really small price to pay. So, Kevin Colbert gets a lot of hate for a lot of the moves he makes, but I think we have to give him props on this one.
Right, yeah, and the pick just came in for the Steelers' latest pick, and they take Isaiah Buggs from Alabama. I actually really like that. I've picked him in a lot of the mock drafts in this round. He's going to mix in, you would think, with Hargrave in the middle of that defensive line. I like the pick a lot, so I don't want to jump all the way there, but we can talk about this pick as we go down the Steelers picks. So, yeah, I think everybody's on board with the Devin Bush pick. Like you said, they haven't been able to replace Ryan Shazier to this point, and this is the only way to do it. You got to give up what you got to give up to do it. And without giving up next year's first rounder, I would have been happy with it, and they didn't do that. So, obviously, like you said, not a bad deal for the Broncos by any means. They're okay with it. But I felt like, as a Bronco fan, they're thinking we could have used a Devin Bush as well. I mean, they have the need at linebacker as well.
Yeah,
and they just
Brandon Marshall
traded the pick that they could have used to take him and move back. And Noah Fant's a really great player. Obviously, you got Joe Flacco there, who you got to have tight ends for him.
Oh,
he loves his tight ends.
We have Von Miller and Chubb. Oh, no.
Right, yeah. But I think that Devin Bush is a guy, you add him to their front seven there, that would have been
scary.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because we both saw Greedy Williams and Byron Murphy and Rocky Sin, who is really pinpointed to the Steelers at 20 by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
All of those guys fell to day 2. They fell to the second round. Do you think the Steelers would have passed on any of those guys? Or do you think they might have just kind of like sucked it up and taken one of those guys? Because they would have had to them something, especially a guy like Greedy Williams, to not be taken in the first round.
Yeah, I don't think Greedy was going to be the guy at 20 regardless. Yeah, I think that and the thing with Byron Murphy, and I know, a lot of people were talking about him too as being the best corner in the draft. I think that a lot of it has to do with the scheme. I mean, he played a lot of zone. And the Steelers have been trying to go away from that, played the third most man coverage last year, which is why, DeAndre Baker was actually a first-round corner, the only one, right? So I think that he could have possibly have been the pick at 20. But I don't. I still think that they would have gone corner. I don't know what they would have done, who they would have taken, but yeah, I think it would have been one of the guys that you mentioned or DeAndre Baker.
Gotcha.
Greedy, yeah, I don't see. I mean, look at every team passing on him. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that he didn't want to do any, private meetings with the teams, which I don't get. I think everybody knew about his unwillingness, if you will, to tackle, and that's one thing. But I think that there was something else there other than that, because that was well known before the draft process anyway.
Unwillingness to tackle.
Yeah,
that is not something you want to hear for a football player.
Well, you know what? Denzel Ward's kind of the same way.
Yeah.
So they got 2 corners there now that aren't very physical.
Run. Just run.
Well, that's the thing. They actually gave up. I think that they gave up the most yards after catch in the NFL last year.
Oh. Well, good for them.
So
I don't know if you saw it earlier today. I think it may have been last night, actually. It came out the Steelers did try and trade up to 8 and 9.
Yeah.
And it just didn't quite work out.
Yeah.
So.
And they did it with less than a minute left before the Broncos were going to make a selection. Like, the Broncos said that they were ready to make a selection, and there's actually that video clip that got released where Elway was like, get back on the phone one last time and see. And he calls, and he's like, hey, Kevin, you still on the board for that trade?
John Elway,
so
the patron saint of the Steelers.
You come up to 10, we go to 20, we get 52 in the third next year. And we don't know what the third's going to be next year either. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be a late third. Could be an early third.
Yeah.
But
could be
hopefully.
Could be more like a second rounder. Could be basically a fourth rounder.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, and then the Steelers obviously not having a second round pick because of that trade. The third round. That's where it kind of gets interesting. They take a name kind of off a lot of people's boards at that point, but certainly not if the Steelers. They did their homework on this guy a ton.
Or Bruce Arians.
I don't know why he wasn't on my radar. That's a mistake on my part. After what I've seen from him and as much homework as the Steelers did on him, I should have been doing the same amount of homework to know that that's a potential target. I like the player a lot. I wasn't sure that was the spot for him. But after, Bruce Arians obviously was going to take him before the Steelers' next pick anyway. So if the Steelers wanted him, they had to take him in that spot. So Deontay Johnson's the pick at 66. For people that don't know who he is, just ask Louis Riddick because he loves the guy. He said he's got the best routes in this draft class. And I think that that's really saying something. So I really don't know what to expect. I probably got to watch a little bit more on him. Beefy mentioned, he had a stellar game against Miami, one of the few top competition games that he played in. What'd you say, 119 yards and 2 touchdowns?
119 yards, 2 touchdowns.
So, Donnie, with Deontay Johnson, what do you think of that pick?
I was shocked. I was really shocked. I really thought they would have gone Hakeem Butler. Personally, Hakeem Butler was my number one receiver going into the draft. He was a 6'6" guy who could basically run anything you wanted. He was great with the ball. Deontay Johnson was also not on my radar. I don't think he was on anybody's radar, especially in the third round. But kind of like you, Smitty, I went and I kind of watched a little bit of him, and this kid can play. There's going to be a lot of like Antonio Brown comparisons to him, just because he came out of the MAC. He's like a smaller receiver, but his route running and his ability to not only make people miss in the field, but to get himself open into the open field and make those plays, dude, it's second to none. It really is. I'm not really sure what to expect out of him, just because I don't know if they want to play him like more so in the slot, because I don't think you can line him up outside. I mean, he's not Antonio Brown whenever he came out. So it's a little bit cloudy, but if there's any organization that can turn a receiver into what they can be at their fullest potential, it's the Steelers. So with that being said, the wide receivers coach, kind of like you came out and said, that he was really excited to get him, and the Buccaneers had him pegged for the next pick after that. So you got to trust him at this point. But the kid looks like he could play, so I'm all for it.
Yeah. Like I said, they said that his route tree is probably the most dynamic and diverse of this class. You mentioned the Antonio Brown thing. Yeah, he's drawn comparisons to him as well as a little bit of Stephon Diggs in terms of that. So, obviously, and it was funny because we were talking on the way here, you always hear, like, the comparisons are always going to be to top-level talent.
Yeah, it's
If
not
they're a superstar, this is who they'll be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not if they're average, this is who they'll be like.
And that's why I was like, yep, this guy's definitely the next Eli Rogers.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to hear that comparison.
Yeah.
But after letting it soak in for a while, I like the pick. Like you said, they got to find the best spot to use him in.
Yeah.
But if he is, going to be primarily used in the slot, you got him, Switzer. I mean, Juju does his best work in the slot.
Yes.
Eli Rogers. So it's going to be interesting to see how they put all these guys on the field at one time. But okay, so jumping to their
Actually,
Yeah.
I saw the tweet. I don't know who it was. Who is the Steelers' deep threat this year? Deep threat in quotes.
Moncrief?
Moncrief's
That's what I
really
was
good at, kind of getting himself downfield, but he doesn't exactly take the top off of the defense. And
Yeah.
I know Juju's had like 99 and like 97-yard catches, but that was more of like
He just got
yards
open.
after the
I would
run.
say he caught
Yeah.
them like 10 or 15 yards from the line of scrimmage and then ran.
Yak.
So
Yak.
There's really no like speed guy who can like take the top off of the defense, and I kind of think that's why the Steelers wanted this kid, just to kind of have that threat. But like going back to the route tree, like Smitty said, Pro Football Focus actually graded him as one of the best route running receivers in this draft. So
Oh.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was one of the highest passer ratings when being targeted.
Oh,
It was
wow.
like 120 something when being targeted. So,
Oh.
yeah, the more that I sit here and think about it, I like the pick.
Yeah, obviously there's high hopes. I mean, that was the one guy, because I looked at some tape before we started. That's the hardest guy I could find to find anything. So
Right. Yeah. But okay, so their third pick at pick number 83. We should also mention that was the first draft pick that came over from the Raiders.
yes.
So,
Appropriate use.
yeah. Pick 83, Justin Lane, cornerback from Michigan State, which I
Yes,
really like.
I do too.
Apparently,
Yeah.
the Steelers got 3 guys that they had a first-round grade on, because Justin Lane was another guy that they had a first-round grade on. But I saw somebody say, it was actually funny because I was talking about this exchange when I was in the car on the way here. Somebody said Justin Lane is the best cornerback in this draft. The Steelers got to steal. And somebody responded and said, I agree with you. I have him as the number 4 cornerback. And then the guy said back, so you don't agree with me then, because I said he's number 1. And he just said shit. And then the guy was like, yeah. That was the conversation. Anyway,
Awesome.
Justin Lane, to me, I don't know that he was the top cornerback in this draft.
He
But I
looks
think
good.
after the top 3 or 4, it's kind of like anything from 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Like you could put him however you want. And I think Justin Lane falls into that. I like him a lot. I think that I'm not sure. I could see him not necessarily sitting a year, but I don't think he's going to be a starter on the outside this year. Because you could say Steven Nelson played the slot for the Chiefs, definitely didn't do his best work there. And that's probably why Chiefs fans have been ragging on him since coming here. But we'll see how things shake out. I just don't think that he's a year 1 guy for the Steelers on the outside.
No.
But I'm happy about the pick.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he went to college as a 4-star wide receiver, right?
I actually don't know about that.
I thought I saw
Donnie,
that.
know anything about that?
So the Steelers tight end they drafted, Zach Gentry, he actually was recruited as a top 10 quarterback for Michigan. I don't know about Justin Lane, though.
Okay.
Okay, well, anyway, another thing about Lane, a note on him. Big Browns fans, the family.
Aw, you stole my point.
Yeah.
Took off his socks as he
was
put on the
wearing-
Steelers
He was
hat.
wearing brown socks. Yeah, and also his, the paint in the bathroom and everything in their house and everything.
Don't say
It's
it's
like-
Like brown
It's
and
Browns
orange.
colors, yeah. So
Ugh.
so the dad said he was going to Home Depot to buy black and yellow for the
That's crazy.
Could you imagine just walking down their hallway and it's painted black?
getting invested.
No lights at night.
Just
Going
I
around
remember-
like Ray
That's
Charles.
dedication.
I remember
Yeah.
telling my mom I wanted to paint my room black before.
And she's like,
She was
no.
like, yeah, that's not happening.
And then look what happened to mine.
Paint a different color.
Yeah, that's not happening.
They should have told me no with this.
But
Yeah,
okay,
well-
so overall, Donnie, what do you think about the Justin Lane pick?
I really like the pick. I don't personally think he was the number one corner going into this draft,
No,
but if you want to look at just like value, I think he might be the best valued corner going into the third round. Justin Lane's a big guy. He's a 6'2" corner. I feel like he could run with pretty much anybody. I forgot who said that he was number one corner. Jonah Tools, he works for the Cowboys Wire for
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for USA Today. He said he was the best cornerback in this draft. Justin Lane, he's a long, athletic dude. He can pretty much play with anybody. Smitty, like you said, I don't expect him to come in and start on the outside right away. I kind of wish the Steelers would want to work him in a little bit and just kind of see how he could play. If you guys remember, Brian Allen, he was a corner that the Steelers drafted years ago in the fourth round out of Utah. He was a 6'4" dude, and he was just never able to put everything together. So I think the Steelers have always been looking for that big, prototypical corner for them to match somebody up on in the red zone. And I think they really got him with Justin Lane. So, everybody's saying he's an absolute steal, and let's hope they're right.
So he was a 4-star wide receiver coming out of high school.
I got something right about football.
Yeah. You
So
did.
did he when he was at Michigan State? When he was at Michigan State, did he start out as a receiver and then they converted him, or
Should I look that up too?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Right here.
Brian Allen, we actually played Call of Duty with him.
Yeah, we did.
I sold him a
And
PS4.
Brian Allen. I automatically didn't like him whenever the Steelers drafted him since I'm a BYU fan.
Yeah,
Oh,
Utah.
well. I probably sold him the PS4. You were
Just like
talking about.
whenever they drafted the punter or whoever drafted the punter today
The Niners.
from
Oh,
Utah, I
yeah.
was like he's good. I know.
Yeah.
I would know.
He kicked balls against my team.
He pinned us a lot.
Yeah, they showed some 65-yard punt that he had.
Yeah, his freshman year he was a wide receiver,
Okay.
and then I'm guessing he only played.
He played
Seven-
both. His first year, he played both.
Well, I was
I'm
gonna
not
say he
remembering
only played 7 games as a wide receiver his freshman year, so I'm guessing they switched him to corner
Yeah.
mid-season.
that. Yeah. Those first 7 games, I want to say he played both sides of the ball.
Okay. Now the Steelers' next pick was a guy that I had.
Can we,
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, since we were talking about DBs, does this push out Artie Burns?
Absolutely. That's
So-
all he has to do is be better than Artie last year, right?
I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but I listed all the corners.
Yeah.
And Brian Allen, who Donnie just mentioned, is still on the roster, and he's actually a very good special teams player for them. So I
Yeah.
think he has a role there.
As long as he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah. So you looked at the rest of the guys. You have Hayden, obviously, Nelson, Justin Lane, Cam Sutton, Brian Allen, Artie. I mean,
Yeah.
even Herb Waters, who's been
Hey.
putting a ton of work in. Yeah. I don't.
Is Cody Sensabaugh still on the roster?
Oh. I don't know if he. I swear I didn't see his name listed on there.
Because he didn't play bad.
No,
last
he
year.
didn't.
I thought he was a free agent.
He might have been.
But I haven't seen anything about him.
You said
Like,
that name and immediately got flashbacks to seeing him get burned once or twice. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's
uh,
currently
He's
free
currently a
agent
free agent. Yep.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Interesting.
Well, if
Yeah,
somebody
like you
gets
said,
hurt-
he really didn't play that bad last year. I mean, no, I didn't even. Well, Mike Hilton, that's
Yeah,
the
that's
the
he's-
slot
yeah.
guy. But yeah, like you said, he didn't really play bad last year. I mean, Pro Football Focus actually graded him out pretty well.
Oh.
Hmm.
Well, we know if somebody gets hurt, that's who's going to get a call.
But anyway, yeah. So Brian Allen, Artie Burns, Joe Hayden, Mike Hilton, Justin Lane, Steven Nelson, Cam Sutton, Herb Waters. Those are the cornerbacks listed on the roster right now.
I'm not mad at that.
But the whole point of this is already on the roster.
Mm-mm.
I think they still keep him on the roster. It's just because you don't want to burn that first round pick right away.
Yeah,
And
well,
they also want to get to that like potential 5th-year extension that they drafted him in the first round for. So I don't foresee them cutting him right away. But if he doesn't play a lot this year, you guys certainly know why.
yeah. I mean, with how much he played last year and how poorly in those few attempts he even had,
It's just sad
Yeah.
because he wasn't he wasn't shouldn't have been a first round pick to the Steelers.
No.
By any means.
Yeah.
They panicked after the Bengals took William Jackson.
Yep.
But even in his first year, I was like, he's not that bad.
No.
I mean, I thought he had a pretty decent season. And then he
his
didn't build
first
on
year,
it.
he led all rookies in interceptions, and I'm like, okay,
Oh.
here we go.
Yeah.
Like we finally got a dude, and I don't know what happened.
What game was it last season where they brought him in and he just looked clueless?
Oh.
Like they brought him in off the bench.
It was like week 8, something
The
like
Bengals, like when Tyler Boyd was just standing by himself.
that. Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Artie looked clueless.
Yeah.
It's like it was like more
He
mental.
turned the complete opposite
Yeah,
direction.
it looked
of the-
like it was more mental than
That-
anything.
I mean,
So-
he plays a very mental position. Like
he is the Steelers' version of Pedro Alvarez. He could have been so good, and then his brain just did the exact opposite.
Boswell.
Oh, no. Don't.
That's
Yeah,
who
but-
I'm curious to see from this season.
But Pedro had the Cardinals series in the playoffs. What did Artie have?
That's what I'm saying. So Boswell had his 2017 season
No, I mean
where he won 4
Artie.
games.
What does he
No,
have?
yeah, exactly.
He
His
had-
rookie year, kinda. Yeah.
His rookie year, kind of. Yeah.
Let me see. Herb, nice sparkling ice. Those are fire.
They are.
Says Sarge.
Oh.
And Ryan says Artie is right behind Beefy, and right behind Beefy's a trash can. So I think we're just talking about that.
Damn it. That was good. Also, Sarge, see you soon.
You love how I picked that up that quick, though.
Yeah.
Garbage.
So, all right. So, continuing on, a guy that I had going to the Steelers in basically every mock draft I did.
I really like this
Not in the round that he went, but you like that guy that much. You think another team might take him. The Steelers take Benny Snell out of Kentucky. Very productive running back.
Cockiest person in the draft.
It's amazing.
Has to be.
It is amazing.
Yeah,
See
there's
the
already a
interview-
lot of
He was
clips.
referring to himself in the
In the-
third
yeah.
person in an interview.
He's like, Benny Snell, he's the best running back in the class. Why is he the best running back in the class? Well, Benny Snell, he plays through whatever. He broke his ribs. He's like, are you talking in third person right now?
It's like I'm talking in third person, man.
But, yeah, I've been a big fan of Benny Snell for a while. Curious to see how he translates. But it's basically been him as a Steeler this whole time. Like, I don't know if how many people have been following this, but he said he wanted to be a Steeler.
You called it
He
back
said
in
it felt-
September.
Yeah.
You called it in
Yeah,
September, yeah.
me, Ryan, and Jamal were having a conversation about Kentucky, and I said Benny Snell's a not future Steeler. That was back in September. But,
Your pick for that is kind of like my pick for Marcus Allen.
yeah,
I said that the year prior.
I like the fit. I don't know about you, Donnie. I think that they needed to add a third running back. I mean, I like Jalen Samuels a lot, but he's not a traditional running back. And I think that they needed to add a little bit more thump in the backfield, and that's what Benny Snell will bring.
He is the definition of thump. Jeez.
I believe they said
Yeah.
bowling ball.
Zachary Smith agrees with the pick.
Yeah.
Benny Snell runs like a bat coming out of hell. There's really no other way to put it. So yeah, the Steelers definitely needed to add a little bit of depth to the running back position. I don't trust Jalen Samuels to run between the tackles 25 to 30 times a game.
Yeah.
James Conner's been banged up every year he's been in the league. And granted, it's only been 2 years. It's kind of something you want to monitor on. You don't want to run them to the ground right away. So the Steelers also weren't shy about kind of making it known that they were going to go get a running back in the mid rounds. They had, I think, was it 11, between 8 to 11 running backs for their pre-draft visits that they hosted. I believe Benny Snell was one of them. Miles Sanders was one of them. Damian Harris from Alabama was another one, amongst a myriad of them.
Yeah.
But no, dude, Benny Snell, he's a tough physical runner. He's going to be the guy around the 4 to 5 yard line. You just pound it 2-3 times. Hopefully he can get into the end zone. Dude, he's a beast, man. He's the physical runner the Steelers haven't had since Jerome Bettis. I'm not comparing him to him, but they haven't really had that just power back to just push it into the end zone whenever they needed it.
Right. This might be something we don't talk about fantasy football a lot on this show, but if Benny Snell does what you just said Benny Snell is going to do, it might take some touchdowns away from
That's
James
a
Conner.
sleeper pick.
He might take some touchdowns away from James Conner.
Yeah, because now you got to kind of assume that the Steelers aren't going to do necessarily like a by committee backfield, but I mean they're not going to be shy about divvying up the work between the three of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw what Ruga said to Tyler earlier,
Oh no.
I did not.
saying that Snell looks like a very average back and that he doesn't even think he's going to like play.
What?
What do you
Okay,
mean he's
so
not going to play?
like number wise, like just pure testing, he didn't test very well at all. Like his measurables, his like percentage of like athleticism compared to other running backs in the class, he tested extremely poorly. But that doesn't matter when you put on the tape.
Yeah. I mean, he was hurdling dudes.
Well, that's the thing. It's like that's all fine and well how much stock you put into the combine
Yeah.
and pro days, but when
It
you put the
means
pads
something.
on, when you put the helmet on and go play football, that's when he's at his best.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might not have all the measurables of these other guys. He's not going to test as well,
So
but he's a football player.
if he breaks loose anywhere on the field, he's gonna be the definition of Chris Berman going rumbling.
Right, we're going to need to bring back Chris Berman just for those
Yeah.
the Benny Snell highlights.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Are you
This-
trying to find that conversation?
No, I have the conversation. It triggers me. So Tyler said Benny Snell low-key a stud.
Okay.
And Ruger replied and said, he looks very average, another Jalen Samuels. And then
He couldn't be more opposite.
well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Jalen Samuels is more of a like athletic, like the
Yeah, like,
third
I don't wanna call him a-
traditional third down back. I guess.
I don't want to call him a gadget player, but like to me, he's more of a receiver than a runner.
Yeah,
like you
that's
said,
what I mean.
You're going to trust him to run between the tackles, 20 times a game.
And then
Right.
so-
He's kind of like how like Tennessee uses Deion Lewis and how New England uses like James White.
Yeah.
Right.
Is Benny Snell the biggest as in like widest back that we've had since Bettis?
thick with like 3 C's.
Yeah.
How
I
big is
think Isaac Redman was pretty thick. Benny Snell's
Ah.
5'10", 224 pounds.
224. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
So then Tyler said very much disagree, and then Ruga said, and I have no idea if he's being sarcastic or not.
Probably not.
I really hope not,
Probably
but
not. It's Ruga.
he says I don't think it's too far out there to say he kind of sucks.
Ruga sucks at everything.
And then Tyler just replied, "Nah," and then he said, "Let me know if he even gets a regular season carry. Thanks, bud."
This dude's
one
favorite
regular
pitcher's
season,
This dude's favorite pitcher is Nick Kingham. I'll leave it
one
there.
regular season carry. I would bet my life savings
not
on
his
it.
not his favorite pitcher.
No,
his
yeah,
best pitcher.
he hypes him up. Okay.
I just think it's ridiculous.
What did Ryan say real quick?
Man, not a regular season carry.
That's week 1. Just start tweeting them.
Snell's a
Donnie, what's
great
your
pick.
thoughts after hearing that conversation?
I'm gonna go to the hospital and make sure I'm okay.
Play the 5th, just in case.
Yeah, I will bet $1,000 that Benny Snell gets a regular season carry right now.
I will bet $50 he has a carry in week 1.
If he doesn't get a carry in the first 4 games of the season, I will give Ruda the rest of my season tickets.
Okay, that's bold.
How about you just delete your account?
Which one's better?
I'm giving up your season tickets. Which one hurts him financially?
Yeah, if I'm giving up season tickets, that's a hit in the wallet.
It's a big
I
hit.
guess
Yeah.
so.
But if I'm deleting my Twitter account, that helps everybody else. So, which one do you want to have happen? But Ryan says Snell is a great pick, insurance just in case Connor goes down. Provides him with a very nice 1-2 punch.
Absolutely.
1-2-3 punch.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Samuels. I'm like he's average, but this kind of gives me a little bit better of a feeling with their run game.
Samuels. I like Samuels a lot. It's just, he is what he is.
Exactly.
And Snell is what he is. And
Yeah.
together, you want the same two guys on one roster.
Yeah, if you can't have one guy that does both, you have 2 guys that
Yeah.
do each.
3 guys that do different things.
yeah.
Trace McSorley just got picked by the Ravens, by the way.
Interesting.
My heart.
That's
Oh yeah, you're a Penn State
they're
fan.
showing him right now.
I'm
Yeah.
pissed.
All right, so second, 4th round pick, they go with a tight end, who you already mentioned was a quarterback
Yeah,
coming
big
into
boy.
school. He's either 6'8" or very close to 6'8"?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is
Um,
6'8".
Okay, and what, like 260?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I mean, talk about a target. This dude's catch radius is ridiculous. Wasn't incredibly productive at Michigan, but I think that pick is literally just his frame. I mean, the potential.
Absolutely.
He's a project.
This is them getting Jesse James for another 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
literally what it is.
Right.
Well, who
And
said he's
that's a
super
lot
raw?
of what their draft is. I mean, it's replacing guys with basically a stunt double of what that person was.
Yeah.
We lost, obviously not right away, replacing Ryan Shazier with Devin Bush, but check that box. Deontay Johnson for AB. I don't really know the Justin Lane pick.
Yeah, Artie Burns.
Future Artie Burns.
What Artie Burns should have been.
Yeah.
Or you mentioned like Brian Allen, what they thought potentially could be there just because of the length, and then Zach Gentry to replace Jesse James.
Somebody said
They
he's
need
super
another tight
raw.
end.
I don't know if they
Yeah.
worked with the Steelers or not, but that's the best way to put it. Is he's a
Raw.
project? Yeah.
you gotta. He's not gonna be able to just come in and.
I didn't want to say raw because look at his face.
Yeah, I see him laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of work to be done for him to become a complete football player.
Oh yeah.
But they know that with that pick. I think that there's another tight end that they would have liked to have fallen that didn't, that got taken shortly before, in Foster Morrow
yeah.
from LSU. I know that they liked him a lot, so it would have been interesting if he fell too. Like, it would have been a toss-up, or was it going to be Gentry the whole time? I don't know. But, Don, your thoughts on the pick?
He's not gonna be expected to come in and contribute right away. They still have Xavier Gribble and Vance McDonald on the roster. Obviously, Vance is the number one guy. I think it'll be a little bit like Justin Lane. Like, they're gonna bring him in. They're gonna kind of work him into the system that they want to have him. I think eventually the hope with this pick is to get him to kind of replace Xavier Gribble, especially after that fumble in Denver last year. I think everybody can agree that he just needs to go. But no, he's a 6'8" tight end. Hopefully he can develop into a nice red zone target for Ben, or after the 2021 season for Mason Rudolph or Josh Dobbs. But there's not like a high risk to this pick at all. So I'm happy with it.
I was gonna say, do you think there's any chance that they decide to pull out any trick plays
With him
being
as the
QB?
quarterback.
Yeah.
I did not think about that.
Yeah. I was thinking
Wow.
about that. I'm like, it's not gonna happen because it's the Steelers. But what if it does?
Hey, I mean, they did
might
it.
be- he
They
might
did
be
it
a
in the
Tim
Super
Tebow
Bowl
guy.
in 2005. So
Yeah.
Boswell to Villanueva last year in Denver.
Ah, yeah.
But what was I just about to say? I was literally texting somebody and I was about to say something.
Oops.
I don't remember.
What was that?
what was that
I
noise?
just did like a snore into the mic.
Oh, I didn't know that was you.
Yeah.
I was like, did he just die?
You thought that earlier, right?
I knew he was asleep. I was just messing with you.
Dude, I'm so sorry. Like,
Oh, I don't care. I would do the same exact thing if I could if I could sleep past 10 a.m. now.
Dude, I'm so mad. I had something on my mind, and of course I got a text right then and had to respond to it.
What's in chat?
Been hearing mixed things about Deontay Johnson. How do you feel about him? Okay, well, I guess we got something in chat, so we got to go backtrack a little bit. We kind of talked about it already because we're going round by round. But it was a name that I wasn't expecting, wasn't on my radar for the Steelers with that pick. Donnie mentioned Hakeem Butler, but he ended up falling till today because of the length, but there's also a question mark with his hands. Obviously, I mean, if you're 6'6" and can run like he can, and what he does after the catch, there's a reason that he weren't taken yet.
Yeah.
But as far as Deontay Johnson goes, great route runner. I think that's one known thing about him. The measurables are very close to Antonio Brown, like in the level of competition as well, playing in the MAC. When he did play against a good team in Miami, he was still able to produce. I liked the pick a lot. I wasn't sure that was the right spot for him, but after finding out that Arians was going to take him anyway, I guess
Yeah.
it was. So I'm on board with the pick. The more that I sit here and think about it, I like it more now even than I did yesterday. So I'm liking it more and more as time goes on.
Yeah. Okay. So who's next?
Who was their next pick?
Sutton Smith.
Yes.
Right, that was on when we were on the way here.
Yep.
A versatile guy. They're not sure that he's going to stick on the outside at the NFL level. I've already seen on Twitter them talking about him potentially being an inside backer.
Oh.
But very productive in college. We kind of talked about that already. 14 sacks in 2017, 15 sacks last year. Just a monster.
Isn't he
But
super small though?
that's I feel like that would be wise. He
Yeah.
doesn't have the length to stay on the outside. But gonna be curious to see how they use him. I mean, I think at worst they're getting a special team stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they kind of want to use him like LJ Fort was used before he went and left. I'm reading his like bio on NFL.com. It's saying that he's basically just an undersized guy who's going to have to like move himself around in order to kind of work his way into like being a pass rusher. But he's a special teams guy, and the Steelers love those. So
Yeah, you're not kidding. I just had like the mental image of him since he's smaller, just crawling between someone's legs. I don't know why. Could you imagine?
Do you
seeing
think
that?
that's how he did it to the
I was
quarterback?
gonna say, could you imagine seeing that in an NFL game? Donnie, have you ever seen that on any tape?
no, I have not.
It's funny that you mentioned the LJ Ford thing because I actually said that on the way here too when I saw that pick was in. I'm curious to see if they use him kind of like they did with LJ Ford. But yeah, like I said, at worst I think that they're getting a special team stud.
Yeah.
Next pick, Isaiah Buggs, which actually happened when we were starting to record. Like I said, we would
Yes.
just talk about it when the time came to talk about that pick. Another guy that I've had mocked to them in basically every mock that I've done right around this pick. We got an Alabama guy on the roster.
Roll
So that's
Tide.
Don't honestly know a lot about him. He's listed as a defensive end. I feel like he plays more D tackle though. No, Donnie.
Yeah, he's been moved inside a lot as a D tackle, especially with Alabama. Kind of how they like to play offset defenses. Dude, he's a stud. I don't know how he lasted this long, to be honest. I didn't expect him to go day one. Dude, Isaiah Buggs, he's a mean son of a gun. So I like him a lot. I think he'll need to kind of add a little bit to his frame, even though he's 6'5", 286. I'd like to see him get a little bit stronger. But with the Steelers playing like a 3-4 defense, and then putting 4 down defensive linemen a lot, especially whenever they bring on like that like third safety or whatever they want to call that package. I think he'll be fine in that role, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say looking at this picture of him that like the pick is in that the Steelers tweeted out, he doesn't look like incredibly. We were using the word thick, so I guess we can continue with that trend. Thick as a defensive tackle. So, yeah,
Well, we found the title of this episode.
thick.
Yeah, but Bama.
The only question is how many C's, but.
Did you just say you have a Bama?
I said yeah, but Bama.
Oh, okay. I did not know what you said. I had to question it.
Steelers don't typically take guys from Alabama,
No, they don't.
but we got one on the roster.
Saw
now.
someone on Twitter say he's a steal.
So yeah, I like Donnie said, wasn't sure that he'd be around at this pick. I thought, to be honest, he was more of like an early 4th round guy, at worst.
Well, he's not going to be a guy that comes in like starts right away,
Right.
Especially with the like Steelers' phenomenal defensive line. But I mean, he's certainly not going to be a bad rotational player, at least for the first couple years. And I think this pick might give them a little bit of flexibility in terms of, if they do decide to move him inside, whether or not they want to pay Javon Hargrave, whether like a guy like Cam Hayward or Stephon Tuitt goes down. I don't think he's going to be a bad situational player either.
No, I like the pick a lot.
So it says, it says his senior season, he led Alabama with 9.5 sacks among 51 total tackles. 13.5 of those were for loss. So,
Huh.
Yeah. Steelers with another pick just now as I turn around.
Ulysses.
Ulysses Gilbert III from Akron. I've actually heard that name a lot, but that's another linebacker now.
Sounds like a Confederate.
That's another linebacker now. They didn't
Confederate.
They haven't
Ulysses
taken.
S. Grant was.
I know.
In
They
the
haven't
Union.
taken a safety yet, or there was a lot of talk about an offensive tackle too. They haven't addressed either one of those. But
I don't
yeah,
know
so
anything about the player they just took.
I know he's a linebacker
I know he's a linebacker. He's from
from
Akron.
Akron. Donnie, I don't know if you can give us anything on Ulysses Gilbert III. With that being so fresh.
he has an awesome name.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, I can't imagine like him being in high school and like trying to talk to girls and like, oh, like what's your name? Ulysses.
You just have to call yourself
okay.
you, right?
You.
I feel like you'd have to call
Hello,
yourself
sir.
that. I
I'd
don't
like
know.
to take your daughter on a date.
What's
Yeah,
your
sure.
name?
What's your name? Ulysses.
Go
yeah.
away.
He's like, kid,
You
this
go
isn't
away.
1865.
Yeah.
Actually,
As for-
Grant was elected in
I
1868.
mean, he's another
so.
Mac player. I mean, that's the third one for the
I was
Steelers.
gonna say they're going Mac heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, over the years, Steelers have had some pretty good Mac players.
6'1", 230.
Donnie, will you be having any write-ups about the entire draft anywhere?
I've been consistently like just writing small, like short articles whenever a player is picked. I haven't been able to write anything about the last couple guys taken. I did write one on Zach Gentry shortly before I came on, but other than that, it's been kind of a quick, hey, here's who they took. Here's
Yeah.
like one thing about him. Go eat a sandwich.
Well,
kind of thing.
where can people find those?
SteelersNow.com. We're an up-and-coming Steelers website. We are part of the Pittsburgh Now branch/family, whatever you want to call it. So the hockey site's doing very well. Pittsburgh Hockey Now, and then obviously, if you follow, Pitt or like Duquesne or Marquette Athletics, Pittsburgh Sports Now is like a really big website for them. So we're just trying to get the train rolling over here on the Steelers side of things, but we're doing well so far.
Yeah. So as for like the rest of the picks and everything, definitely head over there and check that out, since we more than likely won't be able to cover it on here.
And
Yeah,
we
I've
obviously
gotten
don't know
those
as much.
because I've been.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are my go-to for Pirates talk.
Hey, thank you.
I'm
Not
sorry.
Penguins.
Why?
Not Penguins.
No,
So-
because you always trash the Penguins, Herb.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, Herb.
What?
Yeah.
What? What? How does it get turned on me? Hold
Ulysses Gilbert
Very easily.
on Draft Wire, number 18, inside linebacker, post combine. So
Huh. Interesting.
He was a Chuck Bednarik Award and the Bronco Nurski Award watch list coming into the preseason.
watch list. I thought you were going to say finalist.
Oh, no, man. He was second team All-MAC. He started all 12 games for the Zips. He was a strong side linebacker. There's not nothing that jumps off the page for him. So probably just a guy that will come in training camp. They'll see if he can do anything. If not, they probably won't have a problem keeping him.
Yeah.
I will say he was actually originally committed to Cincinnati. He decommitted from Cincinnati to join Akron.
Huh.
Yeah, that was the one thing I saw there.
Ew. I hate Cincinnati, but Akron. So that's all the Steelers pick so far?
Right.
So I'm going to ask you two and Donnie, because I'm, obviously not very knowledgeable. So far, who do you think has been the biggest reach?
The Steelers' biggest reach?
No, across the draft.
Okay, so it's funny because I was actually planning on having this guy as a steal where I thought he was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
However, with the Raiders' number 4 selection, taking Cleveland Ferrell out of Clemson, I think that was a reach. I thought that he would go somewhere around 20-ish. The Steelers picked a 20, but yeah, somewhere in the 20 range, and to take him at number 4. And it was funny because the Raiders, people were saying they're going to do something that you're not expecting at number 4. I'm sitting there thinking that means Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
But I don't hate the pick by any means. I like the player. I just think it's the spot more than anything. Like I said, later in the draft, I would consider him a steal.
Yeah. Because
But because he's number 4, I'm considering a reach.
There's some damn good players still on that list, obviously, with the 4th overall pick.
But he's not the biggest reach.
I was to say, you want to know my reach?
Yeah.
Hold on. Is he a white quarterback?
White quarterback.
Was he picked 6th overall?
He was.
Okay.
I don't understand it.
I don't either. They just went, ooh, white quarterback. He's Eli Manning.
The only thing that you need to know to understand it is it's the New York Giants.
Yeah.
That
Like,
answers the question.
You had Dwayne Haskins there, and you took someone who looks like you could go to any Dick's Sporting Goods, go to the shoe department, and he's working there. That's what Daniel Jones looks like.
I thought you were going to say golf clubs.
Both.
Both.
Yeah. They're selling golf clubs at Dick's. It came out before the draft that there was a team that had Daniel Jones as the number 1 quarterback, and a lot of people thought it was the Giants.
And
I'm sitting there thinking, okay, that means Daniel Jones is getting taken at pick 17. Still don't like it. But hell no. They decided, screw that. We're going to make it even worse. We're going to take him at 6.
And the Giants fan base that doesn't exist imploded.
I mean, if you're a Giants fan, it's a not
It's
a good
depressing.
night. Not
It's
a good night.
depressing.
Makes your list of top 10 anime betrayals.
I mean, you're going into this draft. You got 2 first-round picks, You just lost Odell to get one of those first-round picks, and you get Daniel Jones, another Clemson defensive lineman. They also took with that other pick, Dexter Lawrence. But yeah, I
That
don't know.
hurts.
Daniel Jones is. It was funny the tweets about him saying that he could be Eli Manning in a movie about the Manning brothers.
Yeah,
I mean, I might
I saw that.
I might be dumb, but I would rather have Will Greer than Daniel Jones. I like Will Greer better.
Yeah,
Goes 5 years into the future, come back. Yeah, you're stupid.
it's hard. I mean, it's hard to say. Like everybody, like I said, it's the Giants that had Daniel Jones number one quarterback on their board. Why did they have him as the number one quarterback? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna work out, but I don't know.
Now, when they
see a
say
lot-
number one quarterback, does that mean over Kyler Murray too?
Yes, that does.
yeah, he's the number one
Well,
quarterback.
yeah,
on the board.
if you remember, like earlier in the draft process, Gettleman came out and said that Kyler Murray was too small for them.
Yeah,
Well,
I hope he lights them up. When do they play?
do they play the Cardinals?
I don't know. I
hope
hope
they
so.
do. Yeah. Okay, Tyler, look that up. Donnie, for you. who's
but
the-
I mean, he wasn't falling to them anyway. So
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
for him
no.
to say that was
Right.
stupid.
Yeah.
But
And like
yeah.
that's kind of the thing where I almost understand why they took him at 6 is because like they had number 17, and if they were like dead set on their guy, then like sure go take him at 6. But I feel like you could have traded back at least like around like 8 or 9 to still take him. And but the weird thing was that they did a lot of homework with Dwayne Haskins throughout the entire draft process, anyways. So I'm confused. I'm just confused.
They just went, are we right? We're going to spend all the time on this and then just go, yeah, sure.
And we I touched on it already, but for the Redskins, I mean, they didn't have to move at all, and
No.
they still got Dwayne Haskins.
No.
They
Yeah.
were able to sit at 15 and just have him fall there. Another steal that I love is Brian Burns at 16 because I think he's a top 7 player from this draft class, and he goes number 16 to the Panthers. Looking at here,
We
I mean,
didn't-
Montez Sweat, the Redskins got one up to
Yeah.
number 26 to take him with their second first-round pick as they traded with Indy. Obviously, the enlarged heart thing
Yeah.
may have he dropped off a couple teams' boards, I guess, because of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, Donnie got to see this guy firsthand at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, he was an animal.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. I understand why teams took him off their board,
Mhm.
but falling all the way to number 26, and the Redskins traded back up into the first round to go get him. So they had a phenomenal first round in terms of having Haskins basically fall in their lap and going up and getting what actually might be the best edge player in this draft.
Yeah. And he was okay. So how many edge players were taken before him? Bosa, Farrell, I almost said Oliver. Gary, Burns.
Allen.
Yeah. So he was the fifth, sixth?
Yeah,
Edge player?
5 or 6.
Yeah. Unbelievable. But yeah. Like you said, you understand it. You know the medical concern, but
Apparently,
I
the
mean,
Redskins medical staff is like completely cleared him
Yeah.
to play. So
Yeah, I mean, someone was going to take him in the first round.
Well,
And-
it was weird because he was completely cleared before the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
oh, huh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And how about the Packers coming up to number 21 to take Darnell Savage?
Dude,
who
Darnell
like,
Savage is an animal, dude.
I love Darnell Savage, and it was like people were talking about him at number 20 for the Steelers, and people calling it, a reach if they do that, or possibly like a second-round target. And I knew that he wasn't going to make it to 52, or the Steelers were originally picking in the second round. And then the Packers kind of solidified that thought by trading up to 21 to take him. Who's another guy in the first round?
So can I ask Donnie who his biggest reach is, even though I think I know the answer?
Yeah.
Donnie.
So my biggest reach is actually going to be Titus Howard, the Alabama State
yeah,
tackle,
that's the
that
one I
went
just looked at.
number 23. First of all, I watched this guy in Mobile. He didn't impress me at all. You still have guys like Jawan Taylor, Caleb McGarry, Jonah Williams still on the board whenever you're picking. What's his name? Deshaun Watson was the most sacked quarterback in 2018. And I don't know, man. I know he's from a small school. Obviously, they did their homework on him. I just feel like it was more like solidified talent they could have gotten for it. And if they really wanted him, I definitely feel like they could have gotten him in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned Jawan Taylor. He fell to the second round to the Jaguars, where a lot of people were saying the Jaguars at 7 to take him. So they got, both they got Josh Allen in the first round and then Jawan Taylor in the second. So those are two nice picks for them. And even if you're not going that way, Cody Ford was another, had a first-round grade tackle, and he falls the second round of the Bills at 38. So, yeah. The Texans you said 23, right? Yeah, that's where they took him.
Yeah,
Curtis
23.
Howard.
Also, I can't believe Ed Oliver fell all the way to number 9. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah. That's another guy. It's like one of the guys that people can say is the best player in this draft class, and it's like hard to argue with. You can make it. You can make a debate. That can turn into a debate.
Let's do the Raiders.
Would it be? Huh?
Let's do the Raiders.
Yeah. Right. What'd you think of the Raiders' first round, Donnie?
I wasn't a big fan of Clelin Ferrell at number 4. I do like the Josh Jacobs pick at number 24, and I really like Jonathan Abram, the guy they took at number 27. So I feel like they just wanted just 3 physical guys to kind of start turning things around, and they got them. So obviously time will kind of tell how good this first round draft class is. So basically the last 2 picks, 24 and 27, I liked a lot. Number 4 though, Clelin Ferrell. Why, he's a very good football player. It's just not the guy at number 4 for me. But
yeah.
Then again, my job isn't on the line with my opinion. I could sit behind a computer and give my opinion, and I won't be fired for it.
Same.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the best pick of that draft was their last, or not the draft of the first round was their last one. Because I'm with you, I love Abram. I think he's a beast. And they did him at 27. I really love that pick. It's hard to argue with. He's a running back, so Jacobs, but he very well could have been taken the very next pick because the Eagles might have been doing running back too. The Eagles don't have a ton of needs other than running back. They could have been kind of like a luxury pick for them to take him there.
Right.
Speaking of which,
they went
Penn State
Miles
guy.
Sanders.
Yeah.
And on day 2. So I mean, they were definitely eyeing that position for sure.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Brown at 25, Ravens?
I
hate it.
got a lot of heat for this, but I think he's going to be a problem for the Steelers. He's a very, I don't know how he's underrated, but he's a very underrated receiver. A lot of people such as me had DK Metcalf being the first one off the board. I know he has that problem with his foot. I don't exactly know what exactly it is. But dude, when he's healthy, he's dynamic, dude.
Well, he has the Liz Frank thing, right? Like the same thing Bell was dealing with when he first came in.
Yeah.
To the league. So, I mean, that obviously didn't hinder Bell that long.
No, yeah.
No.
I think he'll be an issue for the Steelers if the Ravens have any sort of passing.
That's the
I was
thing.
gonna
He
say-
can break somebody's ankles. He can be open all he wants. Somebody's got to get the ball.
They
Yeah.
need a quarterback to throw the ball well. So
Yeah, Lamar Jackson has to take a big step this year.
Yeah, if you missed any of the episodes where we talk about the Ravens, we are not fans of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was in college, not in the
like-
NFL.
Yeah, his arm.
he just
Sorry.
hasn't shown me anything yet. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to do so.
No, yeah, it's just so far his arm has
Yeah.
not been there.
Right.
Candy.
He's not winning you any games with his arm.
Licorice whip.
Like I watched the game. I remember watching the game against the Browns where we wanted the Browns to win so bad,
yeah,
and the Browns could just stack the box and not worry about him throwing it
but they didn't.
because they did. They just couldn't score on that defense.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So a couple other picks that I liked in round 2. Well, actually, one that I want to bring up just because of the significance of the pick is the Chiefs taking Mecole Hardman because of what's going on with the Tyreek Hill situation. This
Yeah.
guy is the college version of what he is for the Chiefs.
Oh,
And a lot of
Yeah.
people are saying that didn't influence, like the Hill situation didn't influence his pick, but that you have a hard time convincing me of that because this guy is Tyreek Hill.
the Chiefs have a
For them.
really good thing going where they just take shitty people and then try and bury it as much as they can.
Yeah. So for the last 3 days, basically they've put out a statement just saying they're disturbed by it.
Yeah.
If you're so disturbed by it, why is this dude still on your football team?
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway,
I mean, they had no problem dropping Kareem Hunt when they had
no.
a decent backup to replace him right away. They had no problem doing
Yeah,
that.
and they buried that for as long as they could, and they were like, as soon as it came out, we were going to release him. Like, come on.
yeah.
How can you do that?
So, I mean, so to step away from the draft for a second there with the Tyreek Hill situation, has he played his last snap?
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
For the Reds or not Reds?
The Reds,
The-
the Cincinnati
Reds.
Reds. I'm calling it now. He'll never play a game for the Reds.
For the Chiefs or period?
Both.
Chiefs, yes. Period.
I don't know.
I'm gonna
man.
say yes, and I hope so. But
I hope so, but I don't think
You
so.
know,
but
that's
I can't say for sure yes.
That's the thing. It's like I'm not gonna sit here and necessarily defend the Chiefs because, like you said, burying the Kareem Hunt situation. But then they have to release him. But then another team just picks him up. So it's like the Chiefs don't have this player anymore, even though it's not necessarily like their fault that it happened. Another team's employing him anyway.
Yeah.
In the NFL. So if Tyreek Hill gets cut by the Chiefs and then goes to another team. That sucks for the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs did the right thing by getting rid of him, not employing this guy, just for another team
I think
to give him a job.
I think the Kareem Hunt situation is going to play a lot into this, because I think when they released him, they were like, "Oh yeah, he's never going to play a game again. Like no one's going to be willing to sign him." And the Browns just went,
Yeah, I mean that's
I'm sorry.
See-
What did they go like?
that's the ridiculous thing. That's where I'm just like, what? Why should we release him if another team's going to employ him anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
Why should we have to be the bigger man when this is a sport?
Yeah.
The goal is to have the best players possible. Why
Just
should
have him
we?
sit out his contract?
Why should we have to have a moral compass if nobody else does?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think the crazy thing about all of this is that he was only a couple days away from being the highest paid receiver in the league. Like, people were talking about him getting a massive contract extension. And then right before he put that pen in the paper, all of the shit comes out.
Yeah,
It's insane.
and it's like, I don't know. Like what about you, Donnie? Do you think he's played his last snap or?
I do. I just don't know how he'll be even allowed to be off of the commissioner's exempt list after everything that happened. I don't know if you guys saw this, but yesterday, apparently, the police, sorry, not yesterday, 2 days prior, the police were called back to his house for another incident. And earlier in this week, they were investigating whether or not his fiance was potentially being abused as well. So
Yeah, and it was like
yeah,
a news station that reported that.
Yeah. Did you guys hear the audio from that?
I saw what was said in the audio.
Dude,
Yeah, I
it was
listened to
terrible,
it. Yeah.
It's awful. But yeah, I think he's played his last snap in the NFL.
That's crazy. So much talent
Yeah.
wasted.
Again.
Yeah. Another pick that I really liked for the Eagles. They take one of the receivers that I'm very high on. That I don't know if everybody's kind of in the same boat with it. JJ, is it Arcega or Arcega? Arcega Whiteside.
Yeah.
Arcega, yeah.
Watching, he just seems like that's your red zone receiver. Put him in when you get inside the 10-yard line. He's coming down with a touchdown reception.
I don't know if obviously you don't remember because you probably didn't even see it originally, but I said a couple months ago if he was available in the third round with either of our picks, I would like to take him. If we had,
And I didn't hear any buzz about him with the Steelers.
I didn't
the
either.
Steelers were doing homework.
I just know I watched him in college and I like.
Well, I'm
him.
just as we've gotten closer to the draft, obviously with guys coming in for visits and stuff, there was Steelers doing a ton of homework on top level receivers, and I didn't see his name mentioned at all.
Yeah.
So I really
liked him.
I actually saw Donnie tweet about this pick, so I know he's with me in liking this one.
Yeah, I liked it.
With Taylor Rapp to the Rams.
Ooh, I did like that pick. I really liked the pick before that. No, Nasir Adderley going to the Chargers.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Him and Derwin.
Pairing him with Derwin James. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at the draft board right now, and in a row, Nasir Adderley, Taylor Rapp, Andy Isabella, Juan Thornhill, and DK Metcalf to end out round 2. I like all those picks.
Yeah, I really do. Isabella was kind of like topsy-turvy for me just because I think the Cardinals needed another outside receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's a productive guy nonetheless. So
Yeah, as far as the fit, that's kind of hard to say. I really like the player. I'd be curious to see how the Cardinals do use him. And they obviously were the team that also took Hakeem Butler, so they're adding weapons there for Kyler Murray inside and out.
I actually saw Adam Schefter retweet this. The Cardinals grabbed 3 of the top 10 FBS receiving guard leaders. And
Who was the other one?
Isabella, Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't realize they took him.
Hakeem Butler,
Yeah. Keyshawn Johnson. What school was he from?
Ooh.
He went to the
that's a
same
great
school
question.
as Devontae Adams. Fresno State, right?
Yeah, okay. Fresno.
Yes, Fresno State.
Cool.
How the
Where the hell did you pull that from?
I'm a magic 8 ball. You never know what you're gonna get.
Well,
please,
well,
please gift that.
Well,
Somebody
No,
clip that.
no.
Clip that.
it's like you're quote unquote the one that doesn't know football as much,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, I think he went to Fresno State. It's like, okay.
By the way, we're at an hour, so we need to wrap up relatively quickly.
Okay, so what do we want to do here?
So since we did the biggest reaches, what about everybody's single biggest steal?
I might have already said mine when we were
I
talking about
believe you
reaches.
I'm just gonna say bugs.
Bugs?
Yeah.
I mean,
Really?
yeah, if you're looking later in the draft, for sure. Okay, so I guess I'll do that. Okay,
I'm gonna
if
say
we're doing
bugs
that-
just because I don't feel like thinking and going back.
if we're thinking just for some reason I have my mind just on like the first or second round. As the draft overall, I'm gonna say the Saints trading up today
Mhm.
to take Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from Florida.
Ah.
He's the third pick of today, day 3 here. He's a guy that I wouldn't have been surprised if that was a second round pick, late first, early second, but he falls to today in round 4, and I think the Saints got a steal there.
I could trigger people and say Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray's a steal.
He's a
number one.
steal. Actually, I can
He
trigger.
should've-
I might
he
be able to
should've
trigger
got
people and
0.5.
say Quentin Williams. I mean, personally, I have Quentin Williams as the highest player in the draft.
Yeah,
Not Nick Bosa, but it is what it is.
screw Nick Bosa.
Why?
Other reasons.
Yeah, we'll tell you later. Donnie, your biggest steal of the draft.
So if we're limiting it to just the first round, I'll definitely go Ed Oliver, dropping all the way to number 9. But if you're making me choose one, I'll kind of expand it to the whole draft. Akeem Butler, falling all the way to the 4th round to the Arizona Cardinals. Like I said earlier, he was my favorite receiver coming into this draft, and I think the Cardinals are going to absolute steal with him.
Oh, okay.
Was he at Iowa State?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean,
I was about to say Ohio, and then I
is
caught
he going to
myself.
be the next Larry Fitzgerald? He's just going to spend his whole career there.
Ooh, I don't know.
There will never
Larry
be another Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald did that commercial for DK Metcalf, so I don't know.
Ah.
Speaking of DK Metcalf, did you guys see how he entered the
Yeah.
Seattle's draft room
Shirtless. So Pete Carroll
shirtless,
took his shirt
and then
off.
Pete Carroll took his shirt
Said
off?
he was dared by somebody
Jesus.
to do that.
I think he was dared by scouts, like
you-
Seattle scouts, to
Could
do
you
that.
imagine that visual?
The visual?
The visual of walking into that room with Pete Carroll and DK Metcalf shirtless.
I mean, you can see. There's a video of it.
There's
so you can-
video?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, you can see it.
Oh,
he,
God.
Pete Carroll. It's like he walks in, and then everybody like stands up, greets him, and then Pete Carroll just takes his shirt off.
If I'm DK, I'm like, these guys are taking me, huh?
Also, I want to say the Redskins draft, I'm a huge fan of as well. But with Haskins, Sweat, Terry McLaurin from Ohio State as well, and then Kelvin Harmon today, just a little bit ago, who another guy, I don't know how he fell. I mean, I know that receivers were deep, but
Pause.
yeah, really like the Redskins
Deep.
draft as well.
So for the Redskins, is
Ooh,
Haskins
selection
the
is
starter
on
until he's not? At this this point?
I mean, they already said they were going to bring him in and have him like fight for competition right away. But I mean, who's the other quarterback on the roster that's
Case
healthy
Keenum?
right now?
Case Keenum, yeah.
Smitty.
Ooh,
1, the Steelers selection is in. 2, can you go into chat and delete that last
Derwin
message
Gray,
and
guard,
ban
Maryland.
That person? Delete the message and ban
How
that
do I
person.
do that?
Donnie, do you know anything about him?
It should be slashes. You can look it up.
for who?
Derwin Gray. Steelers just took him. He's a guard from Maryland.
Ooh, I do not know.
I've heard that.
Well,
name
he's a
before.
7th round pick, so I didn't expect you to.
Ryan, do something about this.
Ryan Platt. Do me a favor, look up your mock
7th round
duties.
picks are a lot of times kickers, so we don't expect you to know about them.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Okay.
We just had somebody that's just jumping into Twitch rooms and doing this.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
just
our
bots.
offensive lineman. Wait, what?
The
Who
only
wa- who
person.
was it?
The only person that affects me. Derwin Gray.
From
From Maryland.
I've heard that name before, and I don't know why.
I can hear Don.
What do you
typing.
want?
Yeah.
Do you want him gone?
Yeah. Delete the message.
You
and
want
go
him
on.
gone?
Well, I mean, I could ban him.
Yeah, just ban him. Life.
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 I'll time him out first.
No, just ban him.
Okay.
Derwin Gray, huh?
I am the judge, jury, and executioner of this chat.
All right. He's banned.
Thank you.
It just says that he was a honorable mention All Big Ten selection 2018, and he actually started 10 games at left tackle for Maryland.
Honorable
Huh.
mentioned. Well, not good enough.
Okay, so last thing before we let Donnie go, putting a grade on the Steelers draft.
Ah.
What do you think?
Man, if you're making me grade it right now,
I am.
I gotta say, oh. I like it. I just don't love it, especially in the latter parts of it. There were a lot of good picks for me, so I'll give it a solid B plus.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
I was kind
What
of
if you're grading it just rounds 1 through 3?
B plus.
Okay.
So my thing is, I definitely didn't expect them to make all their selections today.
No.
I thought they would,
Yeah.
put some picks together and try to move up
Yep.
in a round. But that didn't happen.
Yep.
They got a lot of options at positions.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing you look at with Devin Bush, Sutton Smith, and now Ulysses Gilbert, those are all very fast players and guys that can cover in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So they obviously, hopefully, learned a lesson about putting LJ Ford on people in the middle of the field and stuff, and we'll see how they
LJ
use
Fort
these
on
Keenan Allen.
yeah. Oh my god.
I still, when I go to sleep,
or-
when I go to sleep at night, I can hear Keenan Allen catching a pass.
Or putting Bud Dupree on Keenan Allen, or Bud Dupree on Julio Jones,
Or Bud Dupree on anybody.
It's funny because I can hear them jumping off sides. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Donnie, I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
When can we expect you in Pittsburgh?
With your
Dude,
new cell phone number.
that's a great question. I was originally planning on trying to move back around August. I highly anticipated the website taking off a little bit faster than originally did. So that doesn't look like it's going to happen now. I do think me and my girlfriend want to try to go to training camp because she's a really big Steelers fan as well. So
Shout
I
out.
think shout to Haley. So I think that we might try to go to Pittsburgh somewhere around training camp. I'm not sure. But I definitely want to plan a trip this year. I think the first thing we'll be doing is hook it up with around 412.
Yep, there we go.
Pause.
Well, different wording.
At the same
No
time,
pause. No pause.
No pause. So is your girlfriend from Arizona or is she from Pittsburgh?
Yeah, so no, she's from Arizona.
Okay.
She lived in the same house all of her life until she moved out with me a couple months ago. She kind of adopted my fandom. She actually loves the Penguins more than the Steelers.
Hey.
She,
Oh, God, don't break my stuff.
God.
dude, she loves hockey, man.
Good.
Yeah. But I feel bad because the first jersey I bought her was an Antonio Brown jersey, and that was her favorite player.
So my
Yeah.
sister's boyfriend bought a Bell jersey a
Ah.
couple years ago, and then a Brown jersey last year. So
Tell him to stop.
yeah, I had bought a Le'Veon Bell jersey, but good news, boys. Benny Snell's going to wear number 26. So
You just
we
Just
switch
have to
the
take
nameplate.
Yep, switch the nameplate.
That's it. I'm buying a
who's
Benny
gonna
Snell jersey.
who's gonna wear number 42? Because for some unknown
Jackie
reason,
Robinson.
I bought a Morgan Burnett jersey before last year.
Oh no.
Yeah, no idea why, but I was putting in a jersey order.
You were praying that Devin Bush just took a random number.
I was putting in a jersey order, and I got his jersey when I got Edmund's jersey. So.
I felt stupid yesterday. I asked my manager, I'm like, who was the last person to wear 55? And I'm like, oh, yeah, Arthur Motes.
Arthur Motes, who should come on here because he has a talk show anyway.
Should.
Yeah.
Segways.
I was about to say Farrier. What's wrong with me?
51?
Joey Porter.
Joey Porter.
Yeah. I was thinking. I don't know. I was literally about to spit out Farrier.
I
and then
like
realized
the way
was
that
wrong.
55 looks.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be getting that jersey.
Especially with Bush above it.
Yeah, that was Cody Coleman's number. So
That sound. Hold on. That sounds bad.
Yeah.
What?
Bush above it.
Jesus.
Where's Geddes?
Alright. This is getting out of hand.
The show is now
we
R
drafted
rated.
a guy with the last name Bush. That's all that happened. Nothing more, nothing less. But
Hey, quick question for you guys. Who tweeted about Hunter Renfrow on the account?
That
Me.
was Smitty.
Smitty, I need you to address him as Dr. Renfrow.
okay, I will from now on.
Doctor.
I feel like
I
was
he
expecting-
stayed there long enough.
I was expecting somebody to not get it and be like he had to come out or something like that, or because it was obviously a joke for how long it seemed like he was there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was just waiting for somebody to take it
I
seriously.
was going to make a Padres joke, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, what's his name?
Hunter Renfrow.
No, but I'm saying,
Oh.
what's his name? Did somebody responded with saying that?
Oh, did they?
Clint Hurdled parody
Ah,
account.
yeah.
Hurdled.
They're like, wait, he plays for the Padres, doesn't he?
But that about wraps up the draft coverage. So thank you, Donnie, for coming on. And
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate
Plug
it.
yourself real quick.
yeah, tell us where we can find you.
Find me on Twitter at Donnie Druin. Find me on Facebook at Donnie Druin. Find me on Instagram at Champagne Donnie.
Nice.
Love it.
Just catch us at SteelersNow.com. Really got nothing else to do, so just chilling, just writing articles, slaving away.
So yeah, everybody be on the lookout once the draft fully is concluded for more stuff from Donnie and the guys over there. Thanks again for coming on, Donnie. I'm sure we'll talk to you sooner rather than later again.
Have fun with your Avengers shift tonight.
Dude, don't. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm actually going to die.
You're letting people see a great movie. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, but people don't understand that when lines are 40,000
Yeah.
people deep, and it takes forever to get popcorn. But
Yeah.
that's another issue for another day. I'm sure Avengers will still be in theaters 6 months from now. But
Oh, absolutely.
all right, boys. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yep.
No problem.
Take it easy, man.
Later.
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
Okay.
So that was obviously going to be the better portion of the show.
Yes.
Not a whole lot to talk about, thank God, when it comes to hockey, because watching hockey anymore just makes me depressed. The guys from Penn's Blog we were going to have come on, unfortunately weren't able to make it work. Thanks, Peep. But we will have them on sooner rather than later. Probably makes more sense, to wait until a little bit into the off season, see where the Penguins go, what direction they take.
And we may be doing the 999 challenge with him. And by we,
yeah.
I mean me.
Yeah.
Dying. Literally, you will see my soul leave my body.
I'm excited for that. Not that I'm also going to be doing it, but to see Herb's soul leave his body. But anyway, yeah, those guys will come on definitely at some point. Because
I haven't been
We
here
don't know
since
what-
the Pens lost.
we don't know what Rutherford has up his sleeve.
We don't need to talk about it.
But
That's
okay,
fine.
so
So go ahead and
Baseball or
start. I'm gonna
hockey
run to the
first?
bathroom real quick. Do hockey first.
okay,
I'll be right
so the first round's totally over for everybody now.
Yeah.
I don't know about everybody else. I can only speak for myself. Watching Washington, Carolina, Game 7, I was as into it as I would be a Penguins game.
Same.
Yeah.
My mom and I were watching it in the basement, and I was cheering for Carolina like they were wearing black and gold.
Yeah, I mean, when Jordan Stahl scored, who, big shout out to him, he also scored the overtime winner against the Islanders.
Yeah.
So they're up 1-0 in the second round already. When he scored, I was like, where's my goal light? I wanted to set off my goal light for them scoring. I tweeted it that I'm a sore loser, but it felt as sweet to know that Washington wasn't getting past the first round either. They obviously now can't win back-to-back cups.
Yeah.
It felt as sweet for that to happen as the Penguins winning. Not as sweet. I shouldn't say that. But the fact that the Penguins are already out, I definitely wanted to see
It kind of made
Carolina
up for it a little bit.
I guess. I mean, that's the thing is, the Penguins losing was kind of able to, getting swept in the first round was kind of able to fly under the radar because of the Lightning.
Because of
as
Tampa
well.
Bay.
Yeah, and then the Stanley Cup champion also getting eliminated in the first round, and the best team in the West getting eliminated in the first round.
Yeah.
So if the Penguins, if there was a time to get swept, it was the season.
I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I said, and I still think this, I would much rather have lost the way we did, so getting swept, than losing in double overtime of Game 7. Because
It's
I
definitely
would
less
have
heartbreaking.
because I would have been much more invested in a double overtime of Game 7 than I was in Game I mean,
at that point, we were just taking
obviously,
one play at
obviously I wanted the Penguins to win. It's not like I wanted them to get swept, but going into Game 4, I'm going into it there's a really good chance we're done.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like whenever we lost and the series was over, I wasn't as hurt about it as I felt I should be, just because it's going into the game I expected it.
Yeah. I mean, I was definitely frustrated, but I just kind of
I was frustrated.
tipped my cap to the Islanders and moved on because
I still think their system just totally shut us down, and they just outplayed the Penguins in every facet.
they outplayed
Even
them.
goaltending, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah. And that's the I definitely don't feel like Robin Lehner had to steal any wins for them by any means.
Well, no,
but he was good enough for them
We
to win
didn't
every
get
game.
any good looks ever, which was frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple times I know one on Sid, and one on Colin, and that's literally we're talking about 2 goals in 4 games. So, yeah,
And one where
The-
Gensel had a bad pass.
yeah. But
But
I don't
Simone
know.
could have
I'm-
scored.
I'm more worried. Like, that game's whatever. I'm just more worried about the aftermath of what that game could cause.
Yeah. I mean,
Like-
I heard you guys talk about it a little bit, like players
Right.
for the team. Because I listened to the show. I wasn't here, obviously. But
He listened. That's the point.
what?
You listened.
Well, you didn't think I'd listen?
No.
Wow.
Um.
I'm pissed.
Yeah. I was frustrated last week because locker cleanout day. Rutherford says he really doesn't want to give like a statement. You know, like everything's very fresh. He doesn't want emotions to play into what he says. And
It's
then
the best
He says
decor.
everything.
And then
It's the best blue line he's had.
he says the best blue line he's had, and he also said that guys were complacent. There was never like that team camaraderie that you need from a Stanley Cup winning team, and basically calls out the guys that have been there and done that before.
Yeah. And people are like, "Oh, he's a used car salesman. He has to be high on." No, this guy is known for saying what's on his mind.
Yeah.
Used car sales?
I mean, that's the one thing you got to give him credit for.
Other people's junk is other people's treasure.
Oh.
Like, yeah, praising somebody
Bad.
like a Jack Johnson to be able to try to sell him.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I would say
Rutherford's very candid. Like when he says something, he means it. That's the one thing
Yeah.
you got to give him. Is he doesn't BS anybody.
God.
Yeah. Yikes. Big yikes.
I think Kessel's gone, but
I think the first guy's Mata. I think like you can basically put that in pen.
I think that even oh no, or do any of you have athletics subscriptions?
I do not.
I do.
No. Did you read Yoey's article about who like
Yes.
basically it was like untouchables, probably not going anywhere,
Yeah.
and like that stuff. Untouchables, Sid, Gino, Dumoulin, Murray, Gensel,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Probably not going anywhere. We're like Bukestad, McCann. Who else?
Probably not many others.
I don't know. There were a few.
Simone,
Simone might have been one.
Schultz. See, people
Yeah,
weren't talking about Schultz. Okay, I was just say people weren't talking about Schultz. He's on the last year of his contract. I
Yeah.
don't want to see him get traded. I think he's
that's
a mess.
what Yoey said, that if he would be traded, it would be probably because he's only got 1 year deal, and if
Yeah.
the Penguins didn't think that they could
Yeah.
extend him,
Mhm.
then
But see, that's the problem with this team is what they've become is they don't have enough Justin Schultzes, and now you're gonna take the Justin Schultz that you do have away.
Erica
Yeah.
Branson was one. That
Okay.
was probably not going anywhere. And then for trying to shop or like we'll take a look at or something, like Jack Johnson was on that list. Mata was like, this guy's gone. That's pretty much
Yeah.
where he was at. Like, and then
And that's not even because he's a bad player. It's just his contract. His contract's not even
Kessel
Mhm.
was on that list. He said like people who think it's laughable to say that they're going to shop Kessel are wrong. And then he mentioned Chris Letang, and he said he thinks Letang would be like on the he thinks he'll be on the team, but people like he says it's hard to argue like looking into it because they've won without him, and it's like he obviously makes your team better, but
If you
They
can
they
get
won without him, but the problem is
the way they
I
won.
don't trust them to restructure a defense without him
Yeah.
oh, neither
because
do I.
they won without him with Justin Schultz picking up most of that slack, which he hasn't looked like that same player since
Yeah.
since Letang coming back.
And he very well
That's
could
it.
because he's coming off a broken leg.
Yeah.
So
And also though, like I said, this is the last year of his contract.
Yeah.
What's he going to be looking for after this?
yeah, it is a bad spot.
They had
But
a
they're in.
total. I guess what I'm getting at is they had a totally different defense when they did win without Letang
Yeah.
than if you take Letang off the roster now.
And
Okay,
they had a better bottom six.
So I brought up the article just to make it a lot easier for me. Likely sticking around: Nick Bukestad, Jared McCann, Teddy Bluger, Zach Aston Reese, Erica Branson, Marcus Pedersen, Casey DeSmith.
Okay.
And then willing to talk but probably staying put: Phil Kessel, Patrick Hornquist, Jack Johnson, Dominic Simone.
Okay.
Big name trade possibilities: Brian Rust, Justin Schultz. The big decision is what he called it was Chris Letang.
See, I'm
And then-
surprised Kessel doesn't fit in that one
Yeah.
with Letang.
For the big decision.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But as if he's calling it the big decision, he's only going to be one name.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, personally for me, I think that the decision has already been made to like try to trade Kessel. It's whether or not you're going to get something back you would trade him for.
Yeah.
Because to me, I think the past few years we've seen articles saying like, oh, they're going to try to trade Kessel. They're going to try to trade Kessel. I think this year they're legit like
Trying.
they are going to actually shop him, but whether they get a return that they think is worthy or not, or like worth it, I guess. But I don't know. Like I don't think Penguin fans should you're not going to get what you traded him for. He's only got 3 years on his deal. He's 32, 31, 32.
32, yeah.
I mean, he's still like a point per game player, but the way he plays, like it's tough.
Unless you trade him to Edmonton, you're not getting what you want.
I wasn't even thinking like that, how you were saying. I was just thinking you're not going to replace what
absolutely
you
not,
give
yeah.
up in him.
Yeah.
And certainly not with what you get back.
And then he said the most likely to be traded, Ole Mata.
Right.
What's your stance on Hornquist?
I mean, if you guys remember, I didn't like when they extended him.
I said they should have traded him.
But at the same time, I get it. The cap number isn't that bad with it continuing to go up, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's, heart and soul of this team, obviously. 2
He
cups.
Didn't look good.
The way he plays in the front, no. And he refused to blame the concussions, but I don't know. I mean, he just didn't look like himself.
Yeah. And
But
I think Czar can fit right in that hole. That's what she said. But that's how it is. Also, I don't know if you guys thought, there's a disconnect between players and coaches. A big disconnect.
What do you mean? We don't know, if we saw it.
It was during the series. I guess at some point in time, they were going over film, and Ruedel had the puck in the corner.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And he goes, "What the hell?" Or Sullivan goes, "What the hell is he supposed to do here? No one else is on screen." And Gino's like, "He has legs. That's not what you want."
He said, like, he's in the NHL, he
Yeah.
can skate it up or something, yeah.
It's like that's not what you want. Like, I agree with Gino, but that is not what you want at all as conversation
Yeah.
between your coach and players. I mean, I said it last year. I think Sullivan is a very easy. Well, he's done.
What do you
But
mean?
I think it'd be way too easy to fire him.
Oh.
Yeah, because the Penguins get tired of coaches really quickly.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean,
all
I
up
think
to the
that's
GM.
just
Not
yeah.
Dan Bylsma.
That was the GM. I swear to you, it was Shiro.
Yeah, probably.
And Rutherford is not the kind of guy that'll take shit. I think if they start slow, Sullivan's gone.
And I think that the thing is, Lemieux and Burkle are definitely, if you had to choose between Rutherford and Sullivan,
It's much easier
definitely
to get
Team
a coach than
Rutherford.
GM. Yeah, even though I think you should part ways with Jim Rutherford as soon as possible. But
I mean,
this man,
even
he's-
coming off of a cup,
yeah,
I wanted there to be a change.
yeah.
Just because I felt like it was time.
Jim Rutherford is known for destroying a team.
Yeah, I mean, the track record says this guy can get you there.
Mhm.
I think he's a good GM when you want to be aggressive, when you're on the cusp
Yeah.
of doing something. But I don't trust him to do a retool, if
Yeah.
you will, which is what the Penguins need to do to continue their success. Obviously, when you win cups, you're going to lose key players,
Mhm.
but you have to replace those players with guys that can do the exact same thing.
Mhm.
And they went completely astray from what their MO was.
Yeah.
They completely changed the style of hockey
Mhm.
that they played.
I mean,
And not even that they necessarily like changed the style of hockey they played. They got guys that can't play their
Yeah.
style of hockey.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think they're boned.
I think it's going to be. We're going to have a very good indication of the way things are going to go as soon as the first move is made.
Absolutely.
So I mean, obviously we're only in the second round of the playoffs, so we still have a while until it goes. It's crazy that we have this long of an off season, but
yeah. Do
I
we
don't
still
know.
want to do our?
And we talked about it that, we saw how things went for him in Carolina, and it's not really possible for it to go the exact same way just because you didn't have the star power
Yeah. But
there
he
that you
could
did with
damn well
Penguins.
try to make it that way.
But like that's why you're never going to fully be able to tank or rebuild this thing like that.
Yeah.
Because with Crosby on the roster, and I mean, unless he trades Malkin, but don't see that happening. Sorry, Bucci Main, that's not going to
Yeah,
happen.
Panthers.
I
I tried to trade Malkin.
Oh, do you like the text?
Yeah, that was good.
You're not going to be able to go the route that the Hurricanes did to get back into relevancy.
Yeah. Do we still want to do our round league predictions?
Yeah. Okay. So right now in the second round, all of the series are started.
Yeah.
As of yesterday, the Canes have a 1-0 lead on the Islanders in that series. Shout out to Jordan Stahl. We
Oh,
mentioned
that's
that when you
too
went to the
bad.
bathroom.
Poor Islanders.
The Bruins have a 1-0 lead after an overtime victory over the Jackets.
Yep.
The Sharks are up 1-0 on the Avalanche, and the Blues are up 1-0 on the Stars. Okay, so I mean, so you kind of we're doing predictions now for the second round, and we already know who won the game one.
Speaking
so
of predictions,
I got
just
one,
first round, I got one right.
and it was the Bruins.
Yeah.
Did I get 2?
Yes,
the
because
Sharks,
you
right?
said San Jose.
And didn't I have Hurricanes? I
Uh,
swear I picked the Hurricanes over the Caps.
I would have to go
no,
back
I,
and
I
listen.
thought- I
don't
thought
know.
I thought you picked the Blues over Winnipeg.
I did, yeah.
Oh.
Maybe I got more right.
Then you
Did
might
you
have
pick?
3.
Did you pick Boston over Toronto though?
No, I
No,
did
he
have
picked
Toronto.
Toronto.
I had
You picked
at
Toronto
6.
going to the.
So you
Eastern
definitely
Conference
had
Final, I remember that.
2. You might have had 3. We only had 1.
Okay.
Yeah. 1.
So, and it was the one I would have loved to have been wrong on that one.
I'm wondering if so you know how they have the NHL bracket challenge on NHL.com. I'm wondering if everyone's brackets were so bad and there was no perfect brackets left because they introduced the second chance bracket challenge.
Yeah.
There was
And-
one bracket,
And
in
there
the
was
entire
they've
world
never
after the
done that
sweeps.
before. I'm like,
There was
Yeah.
one bracket in the entire world that was correct outside after the sweeps,
Mm-hmm.
but their finals had a total of 2 goals.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned that. You mentioned I think it
2
was last
goals?
week.
Yeah.
In
In the whole series.
you need at least 4.
Well, I mean, like you said, you don't know if it's because of that they introduced that. I mean, it was unprecedented. It's the first time in major sports history that the 4 division winners were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
I mean, literally, Tampa Bay losing to Columbus is like.
Golden State losing to the Clippers.
No, I was gonna say yeah, kind of like that, or like a 16 seed beating a 1.
Yeah.
Like they tied the regular season wins record.
Yeah.
And they got swept.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so looking at these second round series,
Shame.
so Canes Islanders. Canes
in
win
7.
game 1 by scoring the only goal that was scored in the game in overtime. We have kind of an advantage already, being that the one game's been played. But
I got Canes in 7.
I'm just gonna say Canes there already.
yeah,
And they're up in this game.
In the series.
They're
yeah.
up in this game too.
Are they playing right now?
No.
Oh wait, no.
They play
No.
tomorrow at 3.
No. Okay.
Who's
They're up in the series.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Stars are winning 3-2 right now.
Okay.
Against over the Blues. Okay, so
Yeah, I might have picked them.
I would have picked the Canes before.
Same. I'm not betting the Islanders at all, ever. Their PDO is way too high.
That's I said that in the first round, but the Canes are a totally different team. I feel like they're actually going to be able to expose the Islanders, hopefully, and Robin Lehner.
The fact they held them to no goals
And
at
that's
all.
the thing we were talking about. I mean, obviously, the Islanders are the better team in every facet against the Penguins.
Yeah.
They were also luckier in every possible
Yeah.
way. Everything went their way. But
Literally, the Penguins had the worst PDO in the playoffs.
yeah, I will take the Canes in 6.
Ah.
Canes in 5.
Wow.
They're just really gonna give it to them.
Okay.
Putting in the holes.
Good and hard.
Fill in the holes.
Bruins Jackets.
Bruins in 5.
This is honestly my toughest one for the second round.
Bruins in 5.
So I'm gonna say it goes 7 for sure. After the Jackets knocked off the Lightning in the way that they came into the playoffs, I said that they could very well be the best team in the East.
Yeah, on last week's show you asked if they were the cup favorite from the East.
Yeah. I think if the Leafs had won Game 7, I would pick the Jackets to beat the Leafs, but I'm going to go with the Bruins in 7.
I'm gonna say Bruins in 6.
Bruins in 5.
Okay. Sharks and Avalanche. I know that the Avalanche beat the Flames. I think that the Sharks are the superior team. They got to stop one line. I know nobody's been able to do it yet, but I feel like at least 4 games out of 7, they'll be able to stop that line enough where they win those games. I'll take the Sharks. I think it goes 6.
By the way, how long is Pavelski out?
I don't know.
Can we talk about that for a
That
sec?
picture was disgusting.
That was gnarly.
Can we talk about that for a sec? how that is not a 5-minute major?
Oh,
Shouldn't be.
It's
right.
not.
So
It's a
yeah, I guess
penalty.
we really didn't recap how
No.
they got to the second round.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were 3 game 7 we didn't talk about any of them, except we mentioned the
The
Hurt
Caps,
or the Canes, but yeah.
Yeah. So
They're up 3-0.
right.
That happens. Then they go up 4-3.
Well,
And then
the
the
Sh-
Sharks go up 4-3.
That's
Describe
abysmal.
That, though.
That's why it's like I can't even feel bad for them. I understand that shouldn't be a 5-minute penalty. How do you give up 4 goals on a 5-minute power play? That's
Yeah.
unprecedented.
I think that's terrible, and that's on them.
Marc-Andre Fleury went full.
They
2012.
shouldn't be in that position anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
They should have scored 1 goal on a power play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it still should have been 4-1, and they would have been back to even strength.
Yeah.
Like
Or 3-1. I'm sorry.
yeah. That I mean that officiating crew isn't in the second round.
Yeah, and they even that was the thing that they said. They didn't even see it happen. They just saw that a guy was hurt.
There's
there was blood.
everywhere.
Yeah.
How
You
did
can't make a
his-
call based off that.
How do you even crack his head?
That's
open?
why they need
He hit it
to.
off the ice, I think.
Well, yeah, but like guys have done that before and been fine. I'm just-
I mean,
like,
his
that
his
bad.
helmet probably shifted in a way where something I don't know.
Yeah, because it was
don't know.
bad.
Yeah, but and then they got a clean slate because Marcia Show tied it with 43 seconds left or whatever.
Yeah.
So they go into overtime with whoever scores the next goal wins. So they have a
Double
chance there.
overtime.
Yeah, double overtime. Whoever scores the next goal wins, and it's the Sharks that get it. So I have a hard time
Feeling bad. For the
really
Knights.
sympathizing with them. It's kind of almost like I didn't even for the Saints.
It
It's like
doesn't-
you had your chance at overtime too.
It doesn't help for
Yeah.
that major. Fleury went full 2012 Fleury and just didn't stop anything.
I don't think that one of the goals was like that bad though.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
I watched the highlights of it and I was like, because I was thinking
I don't.
the same
Well,
thing.
I don't think all of that's on Fleury. I think the penalty
it's-
kill was just
yeah,
terrible.
That too.
They
But you want to talk about needing a save?
yeah. Well, that's. I mean, I woke up and I saw that, and my first thought is, imagine if if this happened to the Penguins,
Oh God.
and then another thought is, wow, Fleury must have choked this away. And then I watched the recap and I'm like, I mean, none of those shots were like bad goals.
Yeah.
Everything was except for the Couture one, which I don't even know if it was
The
screened
second
or
one?
not.
the second
No,
one.
the tying one.
I mean, Couture
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Okay.
Except for the Couture one that tied it.
Yeah.
Everything was either screened or redirected.
The
It wasn't like straight on goals.
the second Couture goal, if I'm not mistaken, went through like it kind of like his under his armpit.
Mm.
So that was the only one that he like got a piece of, and didn't stop it. But yeah, everything else, I don't even know. And what's his name for the Sharks, by the way?
LeBanc,
If they end up winning the cup, going all the way, is he the?
Conn Smythe.
Yeah, right now he's been the best player in the playoffs. to me.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, yeah, that series, Sharks Avalanche.
Sharks in 7.
I said in 6, Sharks.
Sharks 5.
And then Blues Stars, 1-0 Blues in the series. Worth mentioning that the game 2 is being played right now, and the Stars are up 3-2 with 13 minutes left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Blues in this.
Blues in 6.
They're getting incredible goaltending right now from Jordan Bennington.
Who just got named to Calder Finals
Wow.
along with Dahlin and Elias Pettersson.
I mean, look at the turnaround for the Blues just this season,
Yeah.
and you have
They were in last place in January.
him in goal. That's been the biggest part of the resurgence.
Yep.
And then now Berube is up for the Jack Adams as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
like,
say you fire your coach, get a good goalie.
but so I'm taking the Blues in that series to beat the Stars. I do like the Stars more, so it's kind of hard for me to go against that bias. But the Blues are the better team.
Do you
I
like the
think-
Stars more, or do you like Tyler Sagan more?
I like the Stars more because I like Tyler Sagan. more.
Okay.
I also really like Klingberg, and I'm becoming a big Heiskanen fan.
Miro Heiskanen's good.
I'm not big on Radulov.
I think he goes back to Russia when his contract's up.
I mean,
I was pretty hyped whenever Klingberg scored an OT.
yeah. He's Radulov is somehow even a more like when Gino looks like he doesn't want to do anything, you can tell.
Yeah.
I think Radulov's even an enhanced version of that.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's just not as apparent because he's a winger.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
But-
Oh, completely random note. I forgot about this. I'm pissed. Jake Muzzin never signed with the Penguins.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, so yeah, Blues or Stars. I said Blues in 6.
Same.
6 games as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that means they're going to lose in 7.
Means the Stars are gonna win in 5. They're gonna
Yeah.
win this game and then
Yeah.
run the table.
Oh, man.
Okay, so last thing to wrap up. Obviously, a little bit of MLB talk. Not a ton going
Wait,
on right here.
are we picking our cup final?
Hold on.
Are we doing that?
Oh,
each
we did
round?
do that each round. Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
That's what I thought we were doing.
Okay,
Because
so
my cup final got knocked out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mine didn't. Half of mine didn't.
I'll go Bruins and Blues.
That's what mine is.
Blues
I
win.
want to say Blues and Canes, but I
Yeah.
just feel like the Bruins are the better team.
Out of the 4 teams that I picked to win, would be the 2 that I want to match up
Blues
because
and
I don't like
Canes.
the Bruins at all, and I prefer the Blues over the Sharks. But I think the Bruins.
Like I decided, since the Penguins are out, that the Blues are the team I'm cheering for the playoffs.
See, I mean, I liked Winnipeg, but I don't mind the Blues, so whatever.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I like
I
the
don't
Stars
dislike
more
the
too.
Blues, and the Blues have never won a cup,
Right.
so
Blues
that
and
plays
Canes.
into it.
Blues and Canes.
All right.
Now, Smitty, you have or somebody has a job.
Oh yeah.
It sucks being a Pirate fan.
We got this sign for a reason. We knew we would need it. I knew when I was in that store in Hawaii.
Well, okay,
that,
so
we'll probably need
I'm
that
gonna be honest
sometime.
with you. I am very disinterested in baseball right now, and it's a lot of it isn't even like the team's fault. I mean, everybody goes through slumps.
Yeah.
They have the injuries going on too. They are just a hard team to watch right now.
Oh, absolutely.
They started out. It's similar to last year. They
Yep.
started out pretty good, had 12 wins in their first 18 games, lost 5 in a row. Basically, the exact same things happened here, where they're now 12-12.
6.
Yeah, they've just lost 6. They won up themselves
Yeah.
from last year. Even the last couple games, though, it's like you're not going to get the hitting. They haven't gotten the pitching these last couple
Yeah.
games. And now Chris
Jamal's
Archer's
fault.
on the DL or IL. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
today. Now,
Thumb inflammation, not getting shelled last night.
really, what it is they could use the extra reliever, and he could probably use a game off.
But they used Michael Feliz and
Yeah.
not Jeff Hartley or JT Brubaker.
Yeah.
Or anyone else.
See, the Brubaker thing, I can kind of get. They wanted him to continue to make starts as opposed to being in the bullpen.
Well,
Hartley
starter
was
just
in
hit
the
the
bullpen.
DL.
Huh?
Starter just hit the DL. There's a spot open.
Yeah.
And
I
what
guess.
do? You call it Michael Feliz.
So what's
That's a joke.
what's the plan? I mean, they're gonna call up a starter to make a start, right?
You would
Oh.
hope.
No, they're
I
gonna
don't know.
bring Nick Kingham out of the bullpen.
More than
Mm,
likely.
Honestly,
More than
They
likely.
could.
it might be him or Brault. Yeah, they'll probably just make.
Yeah,
a start.
Brault was sent down for like a cup
24
of tea
hours,
and then came back up.
Man, that was a shame, too.
Yeah.
That was tough to watch. That was even tougher to watch than the game itself, obviously.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you meant him being sent down. I was like, you're like that's that was a shame.
No, it was tough to watch him come back up. But yeah, the Nick Birdie, that whole situation
That's
Definitely
sucked.
couldn't have been more fortunate than the news after.
Yeah.
Than what it.
Has he
compared to what
got
it
his
looked like.
second opinion yet?
I didn't see. I don't think so.
Watching that sucked.
Yeah.
Honestly-
And the people that are like bashing him for it, it's
Wait,
unbelievable.
how are people bashing him?
Like
People
people
are
were
like,
saying
it's
he's like
this-
a wimp or like man up. How you gonna cry? Like people were like
Somebody,
when it was like they were like he got his MRI or whatever. Nothing's torn or broken. And somebody was like, so what was he doing balling on the ground then?
even when that
Like-
first happened, people were like, "Oh, it's his mechanics." It's
Balling
like,
on the ground.
Yeah.
I was balling in a movie 24
Listen,
hours ago.
me too.
And you got to understand that it's not just like a guy that's done something like that for the. This guy already had Tommy John.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is
in
his
your
comeback.
mind when that happens, it's the worst case scenario is on automatically.
And the way
gonna
it
be the
looked,
first thing that enters your
the way
mind.
it looked, if it wasn't for the pitch going straight to home, best case scenario was he broke his arm.
Yeah.
So, and
But
somehow he came
so
out of it
far-
with a strain.
Yeah, so far so good in terms of the news afterwards. Obviously, so far so good would have been if it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But in the aftermath, not looking too bad.
Yeah.
As far as the Pirates go, they are looking pretty bad.
Yes.
They're playing the Dodgers right now. Cody Bellinger set the MLB record now for total bases before May.
He's nuts.
season.
He's nuts. He's nuts.
My God, when do we get a Cody Bellinger?
Never.
A guy that's not a first-round pick. I mean, I understand it's baseball, so it's kind of a crapshoot anyway. But a guy that just kind of bursts onto the scene and does what Cody Bellinger's doing.
You're asking for development. What's that?
I mean, development, obviously, but not even just like making a decent player, I want a Cody Bellinger
Yeah.
just once.
You could argue Kutch, even though he was a first overall pick.
Yeah,
We're saying,
but
like a Bellinger, not a first round pick, is like, well, you can argue Kutch, even though he was first overall.
Yeah. And then Smitty went with it.
well, no, I'm just thinking like
I mean,
the talent level there
Yeah.
we
for
just gotta,
sure.
we just got to wait for Swaggerty to come up.
But you know,
I hope he's good.
we don't. You can't fall in love with the idea of home runs because they aren't necessary to score runs. But man, they're fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
So it'd be nice to have a guy like Cody Bellinger.
They're not
just for that.
necessary to
Hey.
score runs,
That's
but I
fine.
think they're more prevalent in baseball to score runs right now.
Josh Bell
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Josh
he's
Bell.
got 6 now already. That's
Sti-
like half of what he hit last year.
continuing his great start for absolutely no cause.
He's literally. I don't know if you saw my tweet from around the 412. You obviously would have had to.
I think
But
I missed it.
he's Jason Bay right now
Oh, yeah.
because he's just mashing without any lineup protection.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a matter of fact of injury, slumping, and also the pitching has finally came back to reality.
Injuries, slumping, a guy that's coming back from injury, still trying to get back into it in Polanco.
Yeah.
Which it's great to have him back.
Oh.
Brian Reynolds, that looked like he was going to miss some significant time. He missed like 2 or 3 games because of the quad. I thought he was going to go on the IL because of that.
Yeah.
But he was back in the lineup already. But yeah, they need to get Martin Dickerson back. I'm definitely not down on the team overall for the season, but like right now,
Marte needs to pick it up when he comes back.
and that was the thing. He was starting to hit the ball harder. Like it was starting to feel like he was going to turn that corner.
Yeah.
And then he gets hurt.
Yeah. It'll be nice to have Dickerson back.
Yeah.
Now, we need to have this conversation for the sake of having this conversation because it was brought up to me on Thursday at the game. Would you
Okay.
rather have traded Gregory Polanco or Austin Meadows?
Austin
Because-
Meadows.
Because according to Mr. Sam Fredlin and Alex Kwong, Gregory Polanco is the worst outfielder to ever live.
Austin Meadows is currently on the IL.
Austin Meadows is injury prone, never hit in the minors. I don't think he batted over 260 in the minors in his career, right?
I couldn't. I just know that. Yeah, he
Never
didn't
hit.
hit in the minors.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't
He
know.
hit-
I don't know batting average. I don't know on base
Ask
percentage.
David.
He hit for a 10-game span. And then the next 15 he played, he was ass.
He was. That's the thing. It's like he looked better in the majors than he ever did in the minors, and that's
Yeah.
why like people were getting so hyped up about him.
Mm-hmm.
But he has looked good for the Rays so far, and that's fine and good.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm not
5 years he's going to be out of the league.
trading Polanco for that.
5 years he's going to be out of the league.
I don't know if I can get on board with that either. But
He's not. He's just not going to be there. And if he's still there, if he's still good for him. He pulled something out of his ass.
I mean,
Pause.
I don't think that me saying that I would have traded Austin Meadows over Gregory Polanco is like any slight on him. I really like Gregory Polanco.
Yeah, and their whole reasoning was, well, when Gregory Polanco was called up, he was the next Clemente, and I'm like, one person said that. I don't even know who it was.
I honestly, I never understood like he built up his own hype. They not drafted. They brought him here as a
signed
16-year-old pitcher
Yeah,
who just added to his massive frame
yeah.
and became what he is now. I
Take
mean,
a boy.
yeah, I don't recall anybody ever considering him to be that.
There was somebody, I remember hearing it. Some writer somewhere said he was. And it was just like,
Okay,
Even-
well,
Was
even
his
then,
name
I was
Ryan
like-
Platt?
oh, yeah. This is before I knew any of you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just one of those things where like even back then it was kind of like, eh.
yeah, no, I never had that feeling about him
Yeah.
whatsoever.
And I mean, Glasnow was never going to be good here.
We didn't know any.
Well, and here's the thing: if I mean, for people that continue to harp on that trade, I mean, yeah, Glasnow wasn't going to be good here. Meadows, I mean, he
and that's.
continued
I don't
to
think
upgrade-
that's because of Glass now.
No, I mean,
No,
yeah.
no. The Pirates just have a different pitching mentality than Glasnow, than what he needed.
And so anyway, I don't think it matters about what those guys do for them.
I agree.
I think it is all based off what Chris Archer does here.
Yeah.
And Shane Baz, we're not going to see him for
A couple
3 years. I don't know.
Yeah. If that.
But
And on
Yeah.
top of this, the same people that are complaining about that trade still are the same people that are like, oh, but they never trade prospects. They never go for it.
right,
And guess what? They did. It didn't work out, so you're going to bitch. And moan. And bitch.
it might
and
not
moan.
have worked it out. It
So
might
you know
not
what
have
you should
worked
do?
out.
Trade more prospects.
Yeah, that's totally how that works, Jim Rutherford.
It might not have worked out.
Just saying. It didn't work out last year, so it technically didn't work out. They lost the trade because they didn't make the playoffs last year. You know
But-
that, right?
Yeah, well, honestly, it's like, should they even have made that trade? I don't know. But once they did,
They arguably should have because they were on track. And then
Well-
mid-August, all the injuries happened, and they just went ice cold.
I just think that they were playing above their heads for a while there and forced
Probably.
themselves into that trade. Yeah.
11 games in a row.
Yeah.
That's not what that team was. Let's be real.
No, I mean, they came close to a losing streak in that same duration. Like,
Yeah.
that team just was what it was. It was a roller coaster. And because of the timing of when they had that win streak, they were like, okay, we're to be buyers at the deadline.
I mean, that's what Neil Hank said.
And I'm
He
not
rewarded the guys.
necessarily, I'm not necessarily like against what they did by any means. I mean, at least it wasn't for rentals.
Yeah.
And I love Chris Archer, but
I'm sick of people being unhappy at everything because that's all they have.
They're I
that
mean, you
miserable.
can't have it both ways. You can't want them to do something.
Yeah, you can't be happy when it happens and then go back 6, 7, 8 months later and be like,
Because it's gonna.
No.
I mean, it's gonna happen. If you want your team to take a chance, when
Yeah.
they take a chance, it might not always pan out.
Like, no one knows how to be a fan. Everybody just wants to sit there and go, oh, they're winning? Cool, I'm going to root for them.
I just think it's dumb to complain about what they're doing in Tampa Bay because what they're doing in Tampa Bay means nothing about what they could have done in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing that I've learned, unrelated to that and unrelated to play, the Yankees have a lower salary or budget percentage to payroll than the Pirates.
Yeah, it's what like they brought in like $600 million and they've spent
200.
less than, 200.
Yeah. It does not matter. Payroll does not matter.
So,
I'm sorry.
Hey, Tom was behind me. I can see him on the through the picture. I
I
think
thought you just sensed it.
a good, a good point that was brought up by Anthony Donato, rare W,
Yeah.
was that what payroll does is it gives you the ability to make mistakes, to
Yeah.
take chances.
Absolutely.
The Pirates are kind of adverse to doing so, but look at the Red Sox handing out $85 million to Rosny Castillo before he
getting
played an MLB game, getting
nothing.
nothing for that. They got no production from that.
Look at
And-
Eloy Jimenez getting that huge contract extension. Scott Kingery getting that huge extension before they played MLB games. Who knows?
Yeah, and so I guess my point is that adds to the payroll. Those guys might not bring anything
Yeah.
to the table for your team, and then you can just say, screw it, get rid of them. The Pirates, if they ever sign a guy to an $85 million contract, they got to hold on to that guy forever
Yeah.
for
Exactly.
the duration of the contract.
Yep.
That's like who was the dude from Boston 2 years ago got cut, third baseman.
Rosny Castillo.
No.
Paulo Sandoval. I mean,
Oh,
Sandoval,
Paulo, yeah.
That he was still owed like $95 million.
Yeah.
And they just cut him. 'Cause
Yep.
It's no big deal.
Exactly.
he's going to be on the books for years,
Yeah.
but whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Payroll in the grand scheme of winning means absolutely nothing.
And I don't think people care about payroll, to be honest with you. I
But
think that
They
if,
don't, but when they see losing, they
yeah.
see that.
No, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say, is they care about winning. If the Pirates didn't have a loss this year, if
Yeah.
they were undefeated, obviously it would never happen.
Yeah.
If they somehow didn't have
That'd
a
be
loss
wild.
right now, no one would care about their payroll.
No, not
Everyone
at all.
would be buying into the team.
Yep.
I don't know if people would be going to the game still because the Pirates' attendance has never been that great.
No.
Attendance in baseball in general is kind of spotty, but
It's ass in general.
yeah. But
Ass general.
like people would be buying into the team because they're winning games, not because of what their payroll is.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting to the point where it's literally sucking the fun out of watching baseball for me.
I mean, yeah, it is kind of a hard sport to be a fan of without getting upset. Like, honestly,
It's not even like
every time that I go on Twitter, I could probably get into an argument.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You do not understand how many
Has
times.
nothing to do with baseball.
Well, yeah.
Just joking.
No, yeah, I meant baseball related. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I know.
Like I told Sam and Alex on Thursday, I'm like, I'm not gonna have any argument because I only do it on the show because I absolutely don't care anymore. I can't. I physically cannot make myself care about what other people think anymore.
I mean, honestly,
I care. Whether I say something or not is a different story.
I can't. Like it hurts me to
I
think
like-
about other people.
I like doing this. Obviously, I like voicing my opinion. But in the grand scheme of things, if you take a step back, when you're arguing with somebody, what is the
What
point?
is the goal?
Because when has anybody ever changed their mind after having an argument?
Exactly. And that's the
About
thing. Like I'm here. Like if you want to have a conversation where like you're an open-minded,
Yeah.
that's one thing. An argument where you're going, no, you're wrong, and the other person going, no, you're wrong.
Well, look at Sarge and I.
Yeah.
Very rarely agree on anything.
Yeah.
We argue with each other on just about everything. But at the end of the day, he'll text me and be like, "You're like one of the few people I feel like I can have an argument with."
Yeah.
Because I know at the end of the day that you're just stating your opinion and there's nothing else going into it.
I wouldn't consider
Like-
that an argument then. I'd consider that a constructive
Right.
conversation.
Right. But
An argument
But
is just
basically an argument.
like me. Whenever I say something, well, actually, I can't even say that. Whenever Tyler says something about someone sucking,
Me?
Sweeney,
I'm like,
okay.
and somebody goes, "Well, you're wrong," and Sweeney's just like, "No." That starts an argument because
See,
they both think they're right.
I love
Oh, it's
when
hysterical.
Tyler does that because
It's
it just
hysterical.
deflects it. Like you can't have an argument with that
Yeah,
if he's not giving you anything to argue with.
yeah.
So that I kind of do that too. Like,
But do you know what I mean?
When I'm on the Around the 412 page,
Yeah.
and someone says something and I just say okay,
Yeah.
that's the end of it. No one's gonna say anything back
Yeah.
to that.
And if they do, they just look like the ass.
Like that. I don't know if you saw me tweeting with that guy that said he felt bad for Devin Bush's family.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I actually said I feel bad for your family, which is
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
But then he just said like Pats are winning the 7th Super Bowl this year. I just said okay.
yeah.
There-
Hook 'em horns.
That was it.
Yeah. You should use that. Just hook 'em horns.
Last thing in baseball before we wrap up the show, Vlad Jr. is here.
Thank God.
Yeah, a lot of people have been pretty outspoken. Russ Martin recently too, saying that he should have been on the Blue Jays roster last year.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, he's finally here. Debuted yesterday.
you want to talk about a thick boy?
Yeah, this is like, when's the last prospect that came up that was like this much hype around? I mean, Chris Bryant was pretty hyped up when he came up in 15.
Bryce Harper.
Yeah, and that was how long ago? I mean,
2012?
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of fanfare for this. Sorry. And I love the fact that he wore his dad's Expos jersey to the game.
Yeah. That was good.
Do
you see Vlad's tweet?
But he's on my fantasy team, so.
Not like when he first got called up, or they said he was getting called up. It was after he got his first date. He was like, "I didn't think giving my name to you would give you my swing."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That was good." I
Now
like
he's
that.
batting cleanup today.
Yeah. He struck out with bases loaded. Looking.
It sucks.
And it happens. It's baseball.
But anyway, very excited for him. He's on my fantasy team. So
Oh.
let's
Good
go.
to know.
I told my dad, hot take, maybe. I think that he makes this year's All-Star game.
I remembered something. I think he does too. Sarge's question from last week.
Oh, yeah, we can't do it this week.
You think? I mean, I have my list.
I've got mine.
Smitty, no.
I mean, okay.
I
If
mean,
you guys,
mine's
I mean,
quick.
I don't know where. Okay, go ahead.
Mine's quick. I need to pull it up though.
Are we just going to go team by team?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's probably easier than each going through our list.
So I'll start with it. Orioles, no one.
Okay, if we're doing by
Orioles, no one.
if we're doing by Hall of Fame rules,
Yeah, okay,
like
so-
Hall of Famers, no one.
So
But
For-
he made us pick someone
no,
on the team.
time out. Hold on. I changed the rules last week.
Okay,
Do you remember the end of the show?
I heard you talking about it, but I'm not changing my rules. What are your rules?
You changed the rules on Sarge's question?
Yeah. Sarge said Hall of Famers.
Yeah, and a
And-
lot of teams don't have any.
Yes, but he said Hall of Famers. I'm not making an All-Star team.
Okay, well that's too bad. Just pick their best player.
I'm not.
Okay.
Orioles, nobody.
Wait, why did you start with the Orioles?
Because I went by divisions, and that's the first one that pops up.
Oh, I went in alphabetical order.
Oh.
Orioles. What? B. Okay. Trey
B.
Mancini.
Huh.
God.
I was like looking at the roster. I was like, who's their best player?
Here, I'll go by yours since it's alphabetical.
F it. Chris Davis.
Crush Davis. Send it in.
He finds his footing for the rest of the season and then just stays
if
in.
he would have, if he would have reached DiMaggio's hit streak with his hitless streak,
Yeah.
put him in the Hall. I mean that deserves recognition.
He almost got there.
All right. Who's
Okay, Arizona.
Okay.
I said Zach Greinke.
Zilch. Hell, Christian Walker.
I believe very strongly.
I mean, if they're playing the Pirates, literally the whole roster.
I believe
Yeah.
very strongly in the ascension of David Peralta.
Even is he in his mid-30s or early 30s?
Really?
I think so.
The Ascension looks at his age. Oh, he's 34.
I want to say he's like 32.
I'm going with him.
I'm going to say Christian Walker, if anything.
All right, I said Greinke, obviously.
David Peralta is 31.
Let's go.
Okay, next is Atlanta.
Braves. Ooh, I got 3.
Freddie Freeman. I would say. I think that
I
there's
said
more than
Ronald
one.
Acuna
Yeah,
Jr.
I think there's more than one each paper. I'm going to say Freddie Freeman.
I have
He's
3.
He's done it longer.
Freeman, Acuna, Albies. I think they do it.
Big Sexy, even though he's not on the team this year. Okay, after that, we said Baltimore, Boston, Mookie Betts.
Betts, yeah.
Yeah, another team that you could say Chris Sale.
I was going to say
But,
the other one was
Yeah.
that I think, I just Mookie. Okay, next Chicago, Cubs.
Okay.
Cubs.
Cubs.
Stubbs.
Leicester.
If his last name was Stubbs, it'd be elite.
We got them.
Chris Bryant.
Yeah, I just said Lester.
I'm picking. If there is a guy that I feel like he's going to make the Hall of Fame, I'm picking him. If not, it's like the potential to do so. I feel like Lester is going to the Hall of Fame. That's why I picked him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would say, I could say Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
I went as this with, I guess, I looked at, unless they had like a for sure, I went as it who I think will most likely. I mean, even though
Yeah.
Lester probably will, like Chris Bryant, I just feel like he will. Then White Sox.
Man.
No
Yoan Moncada.
Who bold?
I mean, I just picked a good player on their team.
I mean, you could argue Jose Abreu.
That's that's another player I was thinking of, and I just wanted to be different. And Yoan Moncada.
Should have said Eloy Jimenez.
Tim Anderson because of his bat flips. No.
Oh, those do belong in the Hall of Fame, though.
I'll go with Yoan.
Cincinnati. I feel like that's a pretty easy
It
one.
was a stupid question, Sarge. Cincinnati? Yeah, Joey.
Joey
Votto.
Votto.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Lindor.
No one.
Lindor.
I don't think he makes it.
I saw on Sarge's list. I think he said, who did he say?
Kluber, probably.
Kluber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arguable. Lindor's arguable.
Yeah.
Bauer.
Okay.
Hall of Infamy.
Colorado.
Arenado.
No
Yeah.
one. Oh, wait. Oh, Arenado, yeah.
Arenado. Okay. Detroit.
Miggy.
Miggy.
Yeah.
Houston. Verlander.
Altuve and Bregman.
Yeah,
Verlander, I forgot
That's
about
another
Verlander.
team that I feel like has a couple right now.
Yeah.
But I'll go with Verlander because
I feel like Verlander is the
to
closest
retiring.
and also the most lock.
Yeah, I'll add Verlander. on the list.
Kansas City.
No one.
Whit Merrifield.
I said Alex Gordon. I don't.
Nah.
Billy Hamilton just for what he does against the Pirates.
I'll say Whit Merrifield just because he's their best player right now. But
Even though he's in his
I
30s.
literally,
Salvi?
I literally just picked a name
No.
on their roster. Alex Gordon.
Yeah. I
mean,
mean, he
he won
used
a
to be
World
decent,
Series,
and
yeah.
then
Well,
he
yeah.
forgot how to hit.
I don't know. I just
Looks like a drug dealer. now.
okay. L.A. Angels. Do we even have to say it?
Trout,
Otani.
Pujols.
Well, yeah,
Well,
Pujols is going to
Pujols.
be in it before him.
Yeah. Pujols will be in it.
Hey,
So I guess
there
the tiebreaker, I guess, should be if you feel like there's multiple on there, which one will be there in there first, right? Or are you going the tiebreaker is the best player currently?
I guess I did best player currently, so which is why I picked Mike Trout. But Pujols will be there first.
Is there any way Mike Trout does not make the Hall of Fame?
No.
No, if he retires today, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Agreed. Agreed.
I
Okay.
mean,
So yeah, they're both going to make
it's
the Hall of
ju- it's
Fame.
just
So
facts.
it doesn't matter which one you say.
L.A. He already has enough career WAR to be in the Hall of Fame. So,
Yeah.
L.A. Dodgers. Clayton
Kershaw.
Kershaw.
Yeah, I think Kershaw makes it.
Okay. Miami. I literally just looked at the roster
Yeah,
and
no
I
one.
picked a name and I said Starlin Castro.
I'll say Starlin Castro's still there, but
yeah, no.
he's not.
Neil Walker.
Whoever their top prospect. Actually, I'm going to say Lewis Brinson.
whoever
just 'cause
the
he's
top
still,
prospect. is.
Lewis Brinson's still young, and he was the top prospect that came over for Yelich.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna say no one.
Okay. Milwaukee.
Yelich. That's it.
Yelly.
yeah, I guess yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really know who else would have.
Lorenzo Cain.
He done a World Series.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
No one.
Don't like Minnesota.
I said Jose Barrios.
He was in my mind, but 26. I don't know. Actually, no, he might be older than that.
I don't think he's much older than that if he is.
I'd go. Yeah, I'd go with him too. I mean, there's not a person on the roster I'm thinking of. Like Sano just went.
Trevor
downhill.
May.
Yeah.
Go Twins.
For his crossover.
New York Mets. I said DeGrom.
Wish David Wright would have just still been healthy on that roster.
Yeah. Syndergaard, DeGrom, Cano.
Yeah,
Let me think about this. I was thinking about Cano, and then I said no because
the
he's
PDs.
not going to get voted in because he did beat.
He got popped.
Mm.
I forgot about that. He
Ooh.
got popped.
Yep, the Grom.
DeGrom and Syndergaard.
I completely forgot about that because I thought you were going to say that it would count as for the Yankees, not just like on the current roster, but who they retire for.
No.
Okay.
Yankees.
CC Sabathia.
See, Sarge said that, and I was like,
I think he does.
maybe.
I think he does.
I don't know.
Okay, but say he doesn't.
Judge.
Who's okay?
Absolutely. Stanton? Why am I getting a call?
Man, oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna say CC. I think.
Yeah. I mean, CC very well could. I just didn't know if he would.
Yeah. I mean, I might get torched for this, and he could totally prove me wrong. But I don't trust. Honestly, I don't like the longevity for Aaron Judge. I don't think he's going to be a very good player for a very long time.
All he needs to do is just keep hitting home runs.
Yeah.
I just feel like eventually he's not going to be able to hit the low strikes that people throw him with his huge strike zone.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to have a very good long career.
Fair enough.
Okay. Oakland.
Chad Pinder.
Word to David.
No one.
Marco
Chris
Estrada.
the other Chris Davis.
Matt Chapman.
Why did I say Marco Estrada?
I don't know why.
I have no idea.
Did he ever play
I'm
for
going
the
to say,
A's?
yeah.
No,
Okay.
he's on the A's right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say the other Chris Davis.
He picked both. I'm sure we didn't think at least one of us was going to be on the list. Philly.
Nola and Harper.
I said Bryce Harper.
I'm going to throw Nola in there just because.
Do it. I feel like
Say it.
Andrew McCutcheon.
Yeah. I knew you were pausing for a reason. Pittsburgh.
No one.
I mean, I had to pick one, so I said Tyon, but this year he looks like a fifth starter. So
Cole Tucker.
Yeah, may as well.
Hey,
Brian Reynolds.
to be fair, he was not on the team when I made this list.
Mm.
Yeah, makes a point.
I
Brian
made
Reynolds.
this list the day Sarge texted me about it.
Brian Reynolds because he looks like he should be a barista.
San Diego. Machado.
Everybody besides Eric Hosmer. You know what, though? I mean, Fernando Tatis has a higher ceiling, I think,
Junior.
than... Yeah, Fernando Tatis
Speaking
Jr.
of, I was in San Diego last week,
You suck.
and I
Did
like
those guys both play in the game, you regret?
which guys?
Tatis
Tatis
Jr. and
and-
Machado?
Yeah.
Lucky.
Tatis led off.
Didn't they lose
They did. They lost 4-1.
to the Reds?
They did.
SMH, not helping out the Pirates.
And all of the Reds' runs were home runs. And the only RBI was Machado, a double. But San Diego, Petco Park is nice. I will say the concourses are better than PNC Parks, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
That's the
But-
knock on PNC Park is the
But
lack of...
I still will take the actual view
Yeah.
and look of the park at PNC better.
Fair enough. Let's keep going.
San Francisco, Mad Bum.
Posey. Only Posey.
Not over Mad Bum.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mad
gonna say,
Bum has
I'm gonna
an
say
World
Buster.
Series MVP
I know.
and Cy Youngs.
I'm going to say Buster. I would take Buster before Mad Bum, but I think they both are in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Also, we're over 2 hours.
Shame. Who were we talking? We were talking to Sarge on the way here.
I think you were going to say who was on. I was going to say Donnie.
No.
Yeah.
Because we told Sarge, we're like, yeah, we normally go about 2 hours, but we'll try to make it quicker.
That,
well-
yeah, I
well-
mean, Donnie was on here for a while, which
hour.
is fine. But
Seattle, Felix Hernandez.
Yep.
yeah.
St. Louis, I
Yachty.
said Yachty.
Wainwright and Goldschmidt and Yachty.
Oh, yeah. Goldschmidt is on there for 5 years. Shit.
Actually, I don't know about Yachty.
You don't know about Yachty? I feel like he's like the most
I don't.
locked.
I'm not to say that I necessarily agree with it,
Yeah.
but I think that he will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Tampa Bay,
Snell.
Blake Snell. Yep.
No one.
Austin Meadows.
That's something I
Tyler
would say.
Glass now.
Yeah.
Shane Boss. Texas.
Taylor Hearn.
Elvis
No,
Andrews. Elvis Andrews.
Texas was another one I was like, I don't know.
Elvis Andrews.
Hunter Pence.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
That's
Just for-
actually who I put.
just
'cause
for
I
the
looked
sake
at
of
their
having
roster.
somebody, Joey Gallo.
Oh. Could you imagine?
Lowest
Toronto.
batting averaging.
Toronto?
Vlad
No one.
Jr.
Yeah, Vlad Jr.
Oh, yeah, Vlad Jr., yeah.
Washington. Scherzer.
Scherzer, Rendon, and Strasburg.
I think that definitely the first two, maybe Strasburg. I don't know about
I
Strasburg.
looked up
feel
Strasburg's
like
stat. I was right there. I looked up his numbers. I'm like, I think he's going to make it.
I feel like Scherzer's like locked.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
2,500 strikeouts now.
Like
But-
if he retires now, he's a Hall of Famer.
Anyway, a couple things to wrap up with. Once again, shout out to Donnie Druin for coming on. I'm sure he'll be on again at some point. Big shout out to our boy Taylor Hearn for making his first start.
Yeah. It was rough.
Big
but-
things coming in the second start.
Yep, exactly.
he-
In Pittsburgh.
I like the mindset. He pretty much said it perfectly.
Hmm.
There are no losses, only wins and lessons. I just realized I was throwing at the shocker. And want to remind everybody again, June 1st, Whiskey Rhythm, the Horse Nickel Wing Bash. Ton of giveaways. If you don't follow us on Twitter, to let you in on a little bit of information. Cole Tucker, the current shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates, we do have a decent amount of his signed stuff. So
And
we'll let you in on that.
surprisingly, random appearance from Mitch Keller's signed hat.
Yeah, which Jeff didn't tell me about. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
But
Does
anyway,
Jeff listen?
there's gonna be. I don't know. I'm about to tell him. I'm gonna say, hey, what do you think of our last episode? And
Yeah.
then we'll find out.
he just writes back lols.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't have time. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, big shout out to all those guys once again, and look forward to seeing anybody that does decide to stop out on June
Yeah.
1st. I strongly suggest that you do.
And if you'll be in Altoona May 11th, we will be there.
Also, go to our Twitter, follow us on Twitter, and go look at our pinned tweet and retweet it, and you can be entered to win a official Juju Smith-Schuster jersey, not
Official.
a Chinese.
While we're talking about that, if you find the tweet, because I'm not going to put it out there anymore, if Devin Bush does come on the show, Smitty will buy you his jersey with his own money.
Yep.
So follow
Tag
us
Devin
on
Bush
that.
in our stuff.
If somehow, yeah, in
And,
everything. I'm about to put on Instagram too. So
And hope to God the Steelers don't get involved.
We want the Bush.
anyway, that's not the way to end it. Anyway, we are part of the Pod Hub Network. Thanks everybody for listening. If you're watching on Twitch, give us a follow, subscribe if you want. We would always appreciate that. If you're listening anywhere else, head on over to Twitch and give us a follow and come join us live when we come back next week. So we will talk to you then. Bye-bye.